Hey, Pinellas County. Otis Dixon here, Florida high school graduate, class of 1996, and a proud former USF Bull. Back in the day, sports was everything to me. Now you can relive the excitement with Pinellas County Schools TV Classic Game of the Week. Watch some of the best high school players in the county leave it all on the field and the courts. Don't miss it Thursday night on PCS TV and Pinellas County School YouTube channel. You don't want to miss this classic.
The district races are tightening up as Boca Ciega visits Viking territory. Gene Gordon's Pirates are firmly entrenched in the running for a playoff berth, and a win over Northeast would provide a big boost to the Pirates' postseason push. That will be easier said than done, though. Jerry Austin has yet another undefeated Viking squad in '97, and after a scare against St. Pete, Northeast rolled over Countryside with the county's top defense providing another shutout. Will it be the Pirates prevailing, or will the Vikings emerge victorious? It's Bogey and Northeast on Time Warner's Game of the Week, next.
From John Sexton Field on the campus of Northeast High School, the Vikings are prepared to host Boca Ciega in a Class 5A District 10 battle. Hello everyone and welcome. Todd Callis along with the coach, the former coach of St. Petersburg High, Jim Miwa, as we are here for a big battle. We have Boca Ciega on one hand and Northeast on the other. Northeast on top of the district, Jim, and a big game tonight for Bogey.
Big game for Bogey, playing the 9th-ranked team in the state, and tough game. They're sitting at 1-1 in the district. They have to win the game.
You see on the season they are 2-2, and what they did last week. Some of the key players for Boca Ciega, you have to start with their junior quarterback, Nick Spearman.
Big guy, about 6 foot, about 185 pounds, completing about 47% of his passes, can throw the ball, but he's in a conservative offense, a power eye offense.
On the defensive end, you have to talk about number 46, Willie Jordan.
Willie Jordan plays both ways. He's an inside linebacker at 5'9", 180 pounds. That's difficult, but he's extremely quick.
The Northeast Vikings, when you talk about them, you have to start with the defense. Yes, the offense has been high power this year, but the defense has been strong. And you look at what Northeast has done this year. 4-0, you say they must be strong this year, but really they've had a few problems with fumbles, with turnovers, and with penalties.
They've been fumbling the ball. They've been miscuing a lot offensively. Defensively, they've been extremely tough. Number 1 in the county, led by their nose guard.
Let's talk about him, Brian Houston.
Brian Houston, 6 foot, 185 pounds. He will get at you. He makes penetration, and if he makes penetration tonight, it's going to be difficult for Bogey to run the football.
When you talk about Northeast backfield, you have 3 guys to key on, so it's hard to single out one, but if you're going to, it might as well be Adrian Ross.
What a surprise for Jerry Austin. First time he started, he's averaging 10.6 yards a carry from the Z-back position. He'll run a lot of traps, a lot of weak side sweeps. He can run.
This is a big battle, Northeast and Boca Ciega, a good old-fashioned South County battle. So we'll be back with the opening kickoff when we return to Northeast High School right after this. And welcome to Northeast High School's John Sexton Field. A beautiful night for football, a little bit windy. That could come into play. We'll talk about that in a little while. Boca Ciega taking on the Northeast Vikings. Northeast coming in at 4-0 and currently ranked number 1 in the St. Petersburg Times top 10. And Coach Miwa, this is a big game, especially for Gene Gordon's team. They've already lost 1 in the district, and they can't afford any more, and they're facing a very tough Northeast team that really hasn't clicked yet. First, let's look at the coin flip.
It is a tail. You've won the toss. You want to defer. Bogey's won the toss. They will defer. Would you like to start the game with the ball? Yes, sir. Which goal you want to defend? Which way you want to kick? You want to kick to the clock. Okay, stand behind me, please. Northeast face me. Bogey has deferred and will kick away. Gentlemen, shake hands. Have a good clean ball game.
Winning the toss, they defer to Northeast, and Boca Ciega will kick off to start the game. Here are the referees for the game. You saw the head referee, Ray Johnson. The umpire is Keith Baxter. Jim Bays will actually be the head linesman tonight with John Niles as the line judge. The back judge is Frank Niles, and on the clock, George Gear. The crowd is showing its appreciation for the home team, the Northeast Vikings, as they stream onto the field. And again, Jim, we'll talk a little bit about Northeast, and they really have struggled despite being 4-0. Things haven't clicked on all cylinders yet for Jerry Austin's crew, but they have so far started out with an unblemished record.
In 4 games, they've fumbled maybe 18, 19 times, and they're still averaging 41 points a ball game. It's incredible. They have 3 backs that can really motor up and down the field.
Let's take a look at the statistical matchup tonight. And you talked about the scoring, Jim, and there you see it right there. 41.5, the #1 scoring offense in the county, against 20 a game for Boca Ciega. Now, Boca started out 0-2. They've won their last 2 games. Rushing yards, Northeast just really dominant there, and you can expect a big rushing night, you would think, again tonight.
Again, you have to look at opponents also. That rushing yardage is against a down Gibbs team and a down Seminole team. So it's a little misleading. Boca is not playing bad football the last 2 weeks.
The Northeast Vikings taking the field with that perfect 4-0 mark. We'll take a look at their head coach, Jerry Austin, the dean of coaches here in Pinellas County.
Jerry's been around a long time, probably one of the craftiest coaches, especially in pre-game. He will pick apart your defense and your offense. He will find your weak spots. Excellent coach.
A lot of fun to watch and listen to on the sidelines. You can hear Jerry Austin in the background right there. The opposing sideline, we'll see the 4th-year head coach, Gene Gordon, who's got his Boca Ciega team back to 500 after an 0-2 start. And the Pirates are looking tonight to get back on the winning side of the column. They are 2-2, and they really need this district game.
Gene Gordon's also a great guy to talk to. Upbeat all the time, a positive coach, always keeps his kids sky high. He's going to need to today, but I think he's going to get them ready.
By deferring and Northeast electing to receive, Boca Ciega choosing the side of the field, and they have chosen the wind side. The wind is really blowing as you watch this game from your right to left, and that could come into play a little bit later on.
Interesting that you are kicking the football to the #1 offense in Pinellas County. Interesting choice.
You look right now at number 99, getting ready to start things off. That's Zach Stoudemire. And we are just about ready to kick off our Friday night football here on Time Warner. Glad you could join us, Todd Callis and the coach, Jim Miwa. And here we go. With the win, the kick is a low line drive and returnable. Fielded there by number 20, Jeffrey Stork, looking for room and getting corralled and dragged down right around the 24-yard line, and that is where Northeast will set up offensively.
Pretty decent field position. Stork's number 20 does their extra points. He'll kick off. He'll do a little bit of everything on that field. Plays defense. He's on the field the entire time.
Get used to seeing number 20 out there. And here is the Northeast offense, led by the quarterback, number 10, Doug Wechter. 3 backs in the wing T offense, Zentro Walton, Bryce Yeagle, and Adrian Ross. We'll take a look at the rest of their starting lineup a little bit later. 1st and 10. They spot the ball at the 26-yard line. The pitch goes back. This is Walton on the first carry of the game, and he'll gain just a couple. Boca Ciega stacking it up after a gain of 2. Coming off the bottom of the pile was number 8, Tony Brown.
That's their short side sweep, and that's their bread and butter. They've got to get it up inside.
The receivers are MacArthur Harris and Derek Huntley at wide receiver and tight end. Chris Eatman, Ben Mead, and Patrick Searcy normally starting. Searcy not starting tonight. Mead will shift over to the center, and Ivan Abdullah will start at guard along with Philip Perry and Dante Johnson.
Could be a problem when you change that center. There could be an exchange problem with Wechter and Abdul.
They're going to pass off the pitch. Walton looking to throw, and he completes it to number 21. That's good for a gain of about 6. Adrian Ross on the receiving end. About a 6-yard gain, short of a first down, so to bring up 3rd and short against this Boca Ciega defense.
Little short pass inside, and that defense, that 4-3 defense, Rob Andrews, Matt King, the big guy, Dan Gibbs, Marcus Winter up inside. Linebackers short but fast. Willie Jordan, Harley Farmer, Ben Starling, Preston Ford, and the swift secondary. Steve Roberts, Paul Coley, Gerard Reedy.
3rd and 1. They run it up the middle and pick up the first down, and they do so behind Bryce Yeagle, 6 foot, 200-pound senior who's really done a nice job coming back for Jerry Austin this year. Did not start last year, but he has really done a good job at fullback for them.
And he's averaging about 11.5 yards a carry, has 5 touchdowns, and Jerry Austin is real pleased with his fullback.
So it's a first down for Northeast. Last year, Dorian Speaker was the star as the fullback, and Yeagle has picked up and not lost much, if at all, for Northeast at that position. Yeagle, the only back behind a stacked line, and he is looking for room on the left side, finds a gap, and he'll plow his way forward, breaking a couple of tackles, maybe a gain of 6 on a play that looked like it was strung out nicely by the Pirates defense.
You're absolutely right. He did that on his own. Good job by the defensive end to turn the ball carrier back inside. There's a good cut, good downfield blocking, good spin.
Watch that number 46 defensively, Willie Jordan. He'll come up a lot on defense as you take a look at Bryce Ciega, who picked up 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for Northeast.
Willie Jordan as an inside linebacker has to be quick. 5'9", 180 as an inside linebacker.
The other thing to watch on this Northeast team is their quarterback, Doug Wechter. He loves to hit. He plays defensive line as well as quarterback, so you'll see him on the lead block a lot of times. This time he's back to throw. Firing deep, his receiver is knocked over, and that'll be interference. A couple of flags in the area on the incomplete pass, but Jeffrey Stork was interfered with.
Good idea by Stork. As soon as he felt contact, just fall down.
And the obvious interference call. That'll be a 1st down for Northeast. The ball will be in Boca Ciega territory.
Now Northeast will run a wing T offense, which you are seeing right here. Watch the backs. Jerry Austin will place the backs in a lot of different positions, and sometimes you can read the play by where the wing back lines up.
Very similar statistically so far. All 3 senior backfield members. Zantrell Walton with 4 touchdowns. 260 yards, Ciega with 400 yards and 5 TDs, and Ross with 4 TDs and 300 yards. One thing we mentioned prior to the game, Jim, was the fact that Northeast has been penalized a lot this year, and here we see a false start.
Number 70, that left tackle, Chris Eastman, just didn't know the snap count, and you can see Jerry Austin is a little upset.
Well, it's not exactly something that has been foreign to Jerry Austin this year. His team has averaged close to 90 yards a game in penalties, and that's something he would like to see stopped in a hurry.
And Jerry will let his players know when they make a mistake.
1st and 15 for Northeast. And the pitch goes back to Adrian Ross, looking for running room, getting back to the original line of scrimmage, plus some. Maybe back to just the original line of scrimmage, so call it a gain of 5, where it'll be 2nd down and 10.
That's a power sweep, and all you see is bodies going up inside, and they pick up at least 3-4 yards. Good drive, good leg drive, hit by about 3 or 4 of the Pirates.
Adrian Ross, as you mentioned in the pregame show, a big surprise so far for the Vikings this year. 300 yards on 26 carries, averaging 11.5 yards per carry. Sets up 2nd down and 10 for Northeast.
Trying to help you out.
With Ross out of the game, Yeagle will own back behind Wechter, and Yeagle will take the pitch. He has a hole on the left side, tries to cut it out towards the sideline near the 1st down marker, close to a gain of 10. Nice run again by Bryce Yeagle.
Surprising sweep with a fullback. You come out of the double wing. The only person that is keying him is the middle linebacker, and that's Jordan. Good speed, good quickness, little move right there. Gets to the outside. Nice gain.
Some good seal-off blocks by the Northeast Viking offensive line. It'll set up 3rd down and short. Let's call it 3rd and less than a yard at the 30-yard line. Again, Northeast going against the wind, so this could be 2-down territory here instead of a long field goal. And before the play got off, they were trying to rush to the line, so that has to indicate they were maybe short on the play clock.
I'm sure they weren't completely set either.
Foul, gentlemen, that's an encroachment on the offense.
That's a delay of game on the offense. So instead of 3rd and short, it's now 3rd and 6 and a critical penalty.
Put Wechter into a definite passing situation right here. They like to run the flood pattern with the 3 receivers to the right side. Let's see what they do.
Long, time-consuming, ground-controlling first drive. We're already at the 8.5-minute mark of the 1st quarter. Boca Ciega hasn't touched the ball yet. 3rd down and call it 6. Zantrell Walton in the backfield. They fake a handoff to Walton, looking to throw, fires, complete, 1st down to the 24-yard line. He hits receiver Derek Huntley. The tight end with the catch for the 1st down, and he was open.
And that's your flood pattern that we're talking about. 3 receivers, 1 at 5, 1 at 10, and 1 at 15. And Huntley is open, wide open, good catch.
Good job by the Northeast offense of mixing it up thus far. Staying on the ground primarily, but also when needing to, completing a couple of passes. One on the halfback throw.
Coming into the game, Wechter had only completed about 37% of his passes, so there's a little concern in the passing game.
It's 1st and 10, and on the counter, they give it to number 21, Adrian Ross. He loses the ball. Does Boca Ciega come up with it? Yes, they do. There's the opportunity that Boca Ciega was looking for early. A fumble, something that's plagued Northeast all season long, and Bogey comes up with a first turnover.
A little counter off the sweep to the strong side, and it was there. Nice hole up inside, just coughed up the football.
So Boca Ciega takes over offensively behind their junior quarterback who played all of last year as a sophomore, Nick Spearman. In the power I behind him, Antonio Newton, the leading carrier with 308 yards and 5 touchdowns. Also back there, Tony Brown, and the power back is Willie Jordan. See the receivers, Preston Ford and Wayman Newton on the first carry of the game for Boca Ciega. It's Tony Brown up the middle behind Matt King, Kyle Hehenberger, Brandon Stone, and the rest of the offensive line, including Nick Harrison and Rob Andrews for Boca Ciega.
You're not going to see very much, very fancy plays by Gene Gordon. He's going to ram it up inside out of the power I. Defensively for Northeast, you have Holmes and Huntley, Houston, Monday, and Eastman. You've got Abdul playing a linebacker along with Ben Mead, number 55. Allen, Harris, Storch, and the other Harris, Andrew, are quick in that defensive backfield.
And defensively, keep your eye on the middle of the defense and Mr. Houston. We talked about him in the pregame show. They hand off and nothing there for the second back through Antonio Newton. Great defense by the Vikings. Setting up 3rd down and probably about 10 or 11 after that loss of 3.
Larry Monday, number 24, and Houston in on that tackle.
No defensive statistics that are consistent throughout the county, but everybody thinks that if he's not number 1, Brian Houston is at least close to the county lead in tackles. That time it was the combination of Houston and, as you mentioned, number 24, Larry Mondi, beating his blocker. Sets up 3rd and a long 10, maybe 11. Throwing situation for Nick Spearman, who's 28 for 57 this year, including 3 touchdowns. Instead, it's a pitch back. Looking for room is Newton, and he'll be short of the first down. Gang tackled inside the 30-yard line. So it'll be a punting situation, 3 and out on the first offensive series for Boca Ciega.
A surprising option out of the power I right there, and a good job by Spearman to come down the line of scrimmage. Good block by Willie Jordan, just came up a little short.
And getting banged up on the play is Brian Houston, who does everything for them defensively. He's heading towards the bench, and we'll have to keep an eye on him. It looks like he's okay, but maybe he just got poked in the eye. Back deep for Northeast to receive this punt is Andrew Harris, standing at his own 30-yard line. Good kick with the win. Harris fields it at the 36, fumbles the ball, picks it back up, looks for blocking, heading to his own sideline before he steps out of bounds. Good field position for Northeast. The flag comes in late as he steps out of bounds at the 45-yard line for the Vikings.
Forced out by Rob Andrews, number 50. Good job on the coverage.
And we'll wait to see what the flag is, possibly a block in the back.
On the return.
Big concern by Gene Gordon coming into the game. He's having a lot of trouble with his specialty teams. Punting, extra points. That was a pretty good kick right there.
See if we can see where the penalty comes in here. Can't really tell on that shot, but it was a 15-yard penalty against Northeast. And it'll go all the way back to the 27-yard line of the Vikings. And there's an official timeout on the field. Just under 6 minutes by 1 tick, 5:59 remaining in the first quarter. We have our first water break of the night. We are scoreless as Northeast drove the ball all the way down to the 27-yard line before a fumble. Boca Ciega couldn't do anything offensively, and they had to punt away, so Northeast will take over for the second time. And Coach, let's take a look at those Class 5A District 10 standings. You take a look at the top, and you see Northeast and Dixie.
Northeast and Dixie right up on top. 2 big games tonight. St. Pete is playing Dixie Hollins, and obviously this game right here with Boca Ciega and Northeast, very big. St. Pete and Bogey, if they lose, could actually be out of the district race.
So a must-win situation for Gene Gordon and his Pirates. Coming in tonight into hostile territory. It is homecoming week here at Northeast High School. Boca Ciega, after starting the season 0-2, winning its last 2 games with an even mark of 2-2.
You can see Jerry Austin's a little concerned right here. You know, a lot of coaches don't like homecoming week, Todd. There's too many distractions. You don't think that your players are concentrating on their opponent.
Including players on the homecoming court like Bryce Ciega, but he has his attention focused on the snap right now as he's the lone back. And again, before the play, yellow flags, and yellow flags have been in Jerry Austin's nightmares all season long. Let's take a look and listen at this call.
Good ball, gentlemen. Defense.
That's going to be on the defense, so 1st and 5 for Jerry Austin's Northeast crew.
And that's Dan Gibbs, the right defensive end, just jumped. You have the football right in front of you. You don't expect your defensive end to jump.
So the ball now at the 31, called the 32 on 1st and 5. Wechter pitches back to Ciega, loses the pitch, and now regains it, but he'll get dropped for a loss. He's still on his feet somehow, but finally he is taken down after a loss of 3, and not a very good pitch back from Wechter to Ciega.
Now it's pretty hard for a running back to stop and actually catch it off his right shoulder if he's running left. You'll see the toss right here is back behind him. You can't do that. You have to lead him and make him run to the football.
So that play was dead from the start. Good job by Ciega to keep his concentration and gather the ball in, but he did lose 3 on the play. So after our 1st and 5, Northeast is facing 2nd and 8. What Wechter has done in the air so far this year. He fakes the handoff, looks to throw, fires, has an open receiver who slips and falls before he makes the catch, and that was Derek Huntley, who had a 1st down catch earlier in their last series.
Same pattern that they ran before, flooding the right side of the field. Wechter's got a strong arm, but he short arms it just a little bit. Receiver just slips. He was wide open.
Throw would have been a completion if Huntley hadn't have slipped.
Bogey's playing a 4-3, and it's very difficult for those 3 defensive backs to handle a 3-man pattern.
3rd down and 8. Throwing against the wind is Wechter. Fires, and it is complete. This is Stork at midfield, all the way into Boca Ciega territory to the 47-yard line. A member of the Pirates defense came up, thought he had an interception, and the pass went right over his head.
There's Jeffrey Stork, 5'7", about 170 pounds, all over the field. Good athlete, catches the ball, gets upfield.
Good job so far by Wechter running the offense. Doug has been on target with his passes.
Good job by the offensive line to give him protection to throw the football.
So it's 1st down and 10. This is Adrian Ross looking for room. He is hit first by Jordan, still on his feet, and finally a bunch of white shirts come in to make the tackle. There you saw a good example of how Doug Wechter likes to get his head in there and block. The quarterback is a tough kid, 6'3", 200-pound junior who will have to block a lot in the wing tee. You didn't find anybody there, though, until it was almost too late.
Good job by Abdullah to come around and block the guard. Doug Wechter, 6'3", 200 pounds, played defensive end last year as a sophomore. Nice-looking quarterback.
Both teams with junior quarterbacks. Ciega, the lone back behind Wechter on 2nd down and short, and he'll pick up the 1st down beyond the 36-yard line, almost to the 35. That'll be a 1st down for Northeast, and Coach, they continue to run the ball successfully.
Sure, why not? You're picking up 4 or 5 yards right up inside. Why take the chance of doing anything else? But they're mixing up well. Wechter is throwing the ball more tonight than I think he's done in the last 4 ball games.
1st and 10 from the 35. This was about the area where Northeast ran into the fumble problem last time. Walton alone back behind Ciega, and Walton will try and find a hole and just gets tripped up by Jordan, or he may have exploded deep into the secondary.
You're right, number 46, Willie Jordan. Good short sweep up inside. They just pick, look for the opening, and then they excel. Okay, here you go right now. Now he's going to accelerate up inside. He just gets tripped up by a hand by Jordan.
Still good enough for a gain of 7 for the 6'2", 205-pound senior who comes to the sideline and has a word with his head coach.
Carry.
2nd and a long 2. They pitch it back to Adrian Ross behind some good blocking, still on his feet before he's corralled at the 20-yard line. Another Northeast 1st down. On the tackle In the secondary was number 2, Gerard Reedy.
With the power sweep, you can't find the ball carrier. You get everybody turning the corner. He just keeps his legs moving, finds an opening. Good leg drive.
Reedy initially near the face mask, did a good job not to grab the face mask and stay with the play for the tackle on Adrian Ross.
Bogey is hoping that big Matt King at 6'4", 265 can plug up that middle.
2.5 minutes left in the first quarter, scoreless game. Pitch back to Zantrell Walton, and a big hit made on the defense, and you called it, Coach. Number 77, Matt King, came through right after you talk about it.
If they can get a burr under his saddle, he'll be tough all night. Big kid. There he is, untouched. Zantrell will not like that, getting hit by 265.
Look at that big circle under his face. Just a sophomore, 6'4", 265 pounds. You'll hear a lot about Matt King over the next couple of seasons. It was a loss of 2, 2nd and 12 for the Vikings. 8. A pitch goes back to Brian Houston, his first carry of the game. Looking for room on the outside on the Boca Ciega sideline. He gets knocked out of bounds after a gain of about 5. So Houston, the defensive specialist, gets a carry offensively.
Boy, and there's some speed. This is your nose guard on defense. Watch him turn the corner. This is just excellent effort right here to outrun people. Now, he only ran the ball 4 times coming into the ball game, but for an average of 15 yards a carry, not bad.
The secret weapon, Brian Houston. Yeah, nose guard and tailback when needed. He picked up about 6 on the carry, so we'll call it 3rd and a long 6. The ball at the Boca Ciega 15-yard line. Big play early on here for Northeast. Houston still in the game offensively, as is Zantrell Walton in the backfield. They fake it to Walton. The throw towards the end zone is caught for a touchdown. Adrian Ross with the reception, a 15-yard pass from Doug Wechter, and Northeast takes a 6-0 lead. A couple receivers had a chance at that ball.
Excellent job by Doug Wechter to find the open receiver, get it up over the top. Great job by the offensive line to give him plenty of protection, no pressure.
Derek Huntley thought he was the receiver. He made a leap for the ball, but it was over his head, and a good thing, right in the hands of Adrian Ross. Good thing Huntley didn't touch it. Now Jeff Stork is in for the extra point attempt to try and put Northeast up 7-0. Snap is down, the kick is up, and no good. He pushed it off to the right. So Northeast with the early score, but they fail on the extra point with 1 minute and 36 seconds left in the first quarter. Vikings on top first. The score, Northeast 6, Bogey 0. Northeast leads 6-0. There's the combo. Doug Wechter to Adrian Ross with a 6-0 early 15-yard touchdown connection. A little squibber that is down by Willie Jordan. So no return on the play for Boca Ciega, and they will take over 1st and 10. Coach Jim Mewa, you talked a little bit earlier about the 3-man secondary. And there's a case where against Northeast you think about stopping the run first, but it's been the passing game that has done some things tonight.
Northeast runs that flat pattern with the 3 receivers out there to perfection. They'll put one at 5, one at 10, and one at 15. You have a cornerback who has got to cover deep, and you have linebackers who have to fill in. Very difficult when you have play-action pass, and Wechter's doing a good job of faking before he rolls out.
See what Boca Ciega can do for an answer here. Power eye, 3 men in the backfield. Antonio Newton, the 3rd, and they hand it off to the first back through. Actually, this is Newton scrambling to the outside, and he gets about 4 yards. Good play by Boca Ciega on the fake up the middle, and they get it back to Newton, who gained maybe about 5 yards. Call it a little more than that, maybe 6, so it'll be 2nd down and short.
And you can see Newton's got real good speed. I think he averaged 7.9 coming into the game. He'll bounce to the outside. Good move, but he's running to the sideline. He's not gaining any yards when he does that.
Newton 5'8", 161 pounds. There you take a look at the senior running back, also plays defensive back. Second down and called along 4 for Nick Spearman in the Bogey offense. Again, 3 backs behind him. Spearman hands off to the first back through. That is the power back, Willie Jordan. 18 carries on the year coming into the game for Jordan for 96 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Scoring summaries took over 4 minutes to go 68 yards on 10 plays. The final 15 covered by a Doug Wechter to Adrian Ross touchdown pass to give Northeast the early 6-0 lead.
Boca Ciega is going to have a difficult time running up inside. This is a veteran defense. 5 starters were on that 12-1 football team last year that got to the quarterfinals in the state.
Off after the gain of 1, it's 3rd down and 3 for Boca Ciega. This is a pitch back to Newton. Newton looking for the first down, barrels it forward, puts his head down and gets the first all the way out to the 33-yard line.
Good speed turning the corner on the sweep. You'll see a good job here on the seal on the inside. Good option. Spearman did a good job of waiting until the last minute to pitch. Good cut by Newton.
That was the final play of the first quarter. We have all zeros on the board. They'll change sides of the field and get ready for second quarter action. Northeast with a touchdown pass of 15 yards with a minute and a half remaining in the first quarter leads at the end of 1. The score, the Vikings 6 and Boca Ciega nothing. Second quarter action, Boca Ciega with a first down and 10 from their own 33-yard line. Trailing 6-0. Spearman looking to throw, pressured, and he is tripped up on a great tackle by Brian Houston. We talked about him earlier, and you're going to watch number 41 play like that all night long.
He will be from sideline to sideline. You saw excellent speed. Spearman tried to outrun him to the outside. Pretty good job by the quarterback to get out there, but here comes Houston. Good tackle.
Sure, he's a nose guard.
Great speed.
Unbelievable speed. Brian Houston, there you take a look at the 6 foot, 205 pound senior. The loss was of 7 yards, make it 9 yards. Second down and 19 for Bogey. Ball all the way back on their own 26-yard line. Again, 3 backs behind the quarterback Spearman, and he will pitch it back to the third back, Antonio Newton, who fumbles the ball on the ground. Northeast picks it up, and they are heading all the way down inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. So the Vikings taking advantage of a fumble. They will set up offensively inside the 5 as Newton fumbled the ball.
That's the problem with the option. You see the option right here, pitches the ball, it's just stripped.
Adrian Ross picked it up and rumbled all the way down inside the 5 before Newton actually made the tackle, coming back along with Spearman.
Good job by Philip Webster, number 35, to strip the football.
So Northeast looking to add to its 6-0 lead. First and goal from inside the 5. The pitch will go back to Zantrell Walden. He is hit by Willie Jordan, but a gain of about 2 or 3 halfway to the goal line. It'll be second and goal from about the 2.5.
And you got a good look there at Willie Jordan's speed by catching it from the backside.
Check that though, it won't be at the 2.5 because Northeast gets called for a hold. Again, another critical penalty down low for Northeast. When they get in the red zone, they have had a lot of penalties this year. Jim, they've had 9 touchdowns called back due to penalties. That's a season's worth in 4 games.
More still averaging 41.5 a game. That's incredible.
They've been able to overcome their own mistakes this year, both with fumbles and penalties. That mistake will take them back to about the 13-yard line where it's first and goal. You look at the turnovers, they are even 1-1. Bryce Yeagle behind Doug Wechter. This is Yeagle. He's got a lot of red shirts in front of him, looking for room. Cuts it at the 10 to the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown, Bryce Yeagle. Great shot there as Yeagle takes it just over the goal line, checks his right hand. He's okay, and it's 12-0 Northeast.
If you take a look at the formation, Northeast completely overloaded the left side. Bogey did not shift. Here's just an easy sprint and then a good move to get in the end zone. Excellent leg drive.
Bryce Yeagle taking over for Dorian Speaker last year, and What a season he has had for Jerry Austin. Yeagle scores his 6th touchdown of the year. Now Northeast, after missing the extra point in the first quarter, will go for 2, leading 12-0. 2-point conversion try. Wexler's going to try and throw for it. Fires in the end zone, overthrows his intended receiver, and that was Philip Webster, who made the strip defensively to cause the turnover that led to the touchdown. But the incomplete pass makes it still a 12-0 game.
Good coverage by the defensive backfield of Bogey.
The touchdown by Yeagle gives Northeast a 12-point lead. We'll take a timeout with 10:31 remaining in the first half. It's Northeast 12, Boca Ciega 0. Bryce Yeagle takes it in from 13 yards out to give Northeast a 12-0 lead over Boca Ciega on a very pleasant evening, a bit windy on this homecoming game for the Northeast Vikings. The Vikings currently the #1 ranked team in the area, perfect 4-0, taking on a Boca Ciega team now facing a 12-0 deficit, and not exactly the Pirate kind of offense that is good coming from behind. They like to keep the ball on the ground, and we'll have to see how they fare here, trailing by 2 touchdowns.
Now, they're definitely not a throwing team, and you're absolutely right. They'll have a rough time getting back.
Gerard Reedy is back along with Antonio Newton. This thing sails past Newton all the way into the end zone on the fine kickoff by Jeff Stork with the win. As he kicks it deep into the end zone. Here's a scoring summary. It only took 2 plays, and the only reason it went 13 yards was because of a holding penalty. Northeast started with the ball at the 4-yard line, and it was Bryce Yeagle who took it in, and there you see his numbers on the night. 6 carries for 37 yards and a nice tough run for the touchdown.
Tough runner back up inside. You like to see that fullback who's got good strong legs, good cutback ability.
So Boca Ciega, after the kickoff in the end zone, will take over 1st and 10 from its own 20 behind the junior quarterback Nick Spearman. Spearman hands off to the first back through. That's the power back Willie Jordan, who puts his head down and barrels forward for about 2 or 3.
Just hard going up inside. It's pretty hard to run against that nose guard and that 5-2 defense.
Player down for Northeast in the Boca Ciega backfield as we take a look at another play. At the play once again.
Just a short dive right up inside and no place to run. We have an injured player down on the field.
Jordan, the key defensively for Boca Ciega. Also the power back offensively.
You have a young man who's going both ways. It's a little difficult, but it's a nice night to be able to do that. Inside linebacker, your power back who has to run tough inside and block inside.
Speaking of a player that plays both ways, Danny Eastman sometimes on the offensive line here playing defensive tackle. He starts at D tackle, and that's where he was injured, favoring his right hand or right arm as he walks to the sideline. So it'll be 2nd down and call it 6 for Bogey. I formation behind Spearman, and a big hole breaking into 1st down territory plus some all the way to almost the 40-yard line is Gerard Reedy. Reedy with a big gain of about 15 yards for a Bogey first.
Here you see the little handoff, little power. You see some great speed by Reedy. Good block on the outside by Newton.
Also a good open field tackle by Zantrell Walton to avoid further damage, as Reedy had a lot of open space behind him. Self and Zantrell Walton, but Walton with a good tackle. So it's 1st down and 10 for Bogey. Spearman hands off. That's the power back, and he fights his way for about 4 yards. Willie Jordan with tough yards, and that's about the only kind of yards he knows about. So he takes all the carries up the middle pretty much when he gets the ball.
Little cross buck here, fake to the fullback, give it to the 2nd back through. Pretty good gain. Too many white shirts standing around watching though.
2nd and 6. Northeast leading Bogey 12-0. We're under 9.5 minutes remaining in the first half from John Sexton Field at Northeast High School. Glad you could join us on our Time Warner Game of the Week. Spearman on the pitch back. This is Reedy once again. Gerard looking for room, and he is forced out of bounds right at about the 46 or 47 yard line. He'll be 3 or 4 yards short of a first, and it'll set up a third down for the Pirates.
Excellent call by Gene Gordon. Northeast actually shifted into a 6-man front, and they went outside on the sweep. Good call.
There is the injured player Eastman on the sideline. Danny Eastman checking his right arm. He has been out for about 5 plays now.
A lot of times you'll get that stinger up there in the shoulder, and after a couple minutes it'll go away.
See what Boca can do here if they can answer Northeast. A big third down for them. Third and call it a long 2 and some movement. Northeast jumped. Were they drawn or not? We'll have to wait and see.
Good job by Spearman and the offensive line to change up the starting count. Here's an experienced quarterback right there. Put it on the second or third go. Get an anxious Northeast defense to jump.
Timeout, red.
So Northeast gets called for the penalty, and also they call timeout defensively. With the 5-yard encroachment penalty, Boca Ciega will have a first down in Northeast territory at the 48-yard line. Next game, next week, the Dixie Holland Rebels take it on the Countryside Cougars. You take a look at one of their stars, DeAndre Rubin. Does he have some speed? That'll be on Thursday night. Special Thursday night game for you next week. The Rebels take it on the Cougars, and the Rebels are perfect 4-0 coming into tonight. And then Friday, we have back-to-back games for you, so some extra coverage on Time Warner. That's Terrell White, the quarterback, and look at him ball over tacklers. Tarpon Springs Spongers taking on the Lakewood Spartans. Twice as many games for your pleasure next week on Time Warner's Games of the Week. Here at Northeast High, it's 12-0 Vikings. Boca Ciega picking up a first down on the defensive encroachment, and they will start now 1st and 10 after the Viking timeout. Nick Spearman calling signals, takes the snap. He'll keep it himself, and he is dragged down right at the line of scrimmage. Nice defensive play by number 83, Derek Huntley.
An option look right there, but Spearman doesn't have the foot speed right here to be able to turn it up inside. Good play by Huntley to turn it inside and make the tackle.
Huntley, we've seen as the tight end, made a couple of key catches earlier, also plays on that defensive line for Jerry Austin's Northeast Vikings. Jim Cornelode, the defensive coordinator at Northeast, has been with Jerry for a number of years. Take a look at Gerard Reedy and what he's done so far. A couple of carries. Picked up that big first down earlier. It's 2nd and 10. Spearman looking to throw. Fires for Jordan. It is incomplete, overthrown, and now intercepted. He overthrew his receiver, Willie Jordan, and back there for the pickoff for the Northeast Vikings was Zantrell Walton. Here's another look, Coach.
Good job by Spearman to get to the outside. He just overthrows Jordan. Here's an excellent interception right here. Leave your feet, get the football.
Zantrell Walton, you've seen him run the ball tailback, and there was a fine defensive play as he roams that secondary as the free safety and picks off the Nick Spearman overthrow, and that'll give Northeast the ball, leading 12-0, 8:04 remaining in the first half. This is Yeagle right up the middle. Has some running room before he is finally stopped by about 3 or 4 tacklers, but not before a gain of about 6 or 7 for Bryce Yeagle.
There's a nice smart runner with good vision. He just comes up and finds the hole, just waits for the offensive line to get downfield and finds the crease and goes.
Here are some other games going on around the county tonight. Clearwater taking on Dunedin. Countryside's at St. Pete. It should be Boca Ciega, I guess, at Northeast. Eastlake at Chamberlain. Gibbs Lakewood. Jesuit hasn't played in 3 weeks with the rain, and they had a bye week. They take on Osceola. It's 2nd down, and let's call it 4 for Northeast. This is Walton, the man who just came up with the interception. Not very much running room there. It's a good job by the Pirates D to stay home on the counter.
Little counter, and I think he got away with one right there. I think he jumped before the snap of the ball. And good job defensively.
So it's 3rd down and 3 for Northeast. One thing Gene Gordon knew he couldn't afford to have happen tonight were turnovers. And so far, the Pirates have turned it over twice to Northeast 1. 6:47 and counting. First half, Northeast faced with 3rd and 3. Wechter has been successful in the air tonight. Has time, throws. It is complete for a first down to Jeffrey Stork. And again, some unbelievable time for Wechter to throw.
Plenty of time. Big, tall guy at 6'3", the same flood pattern. He just waits there, sees the 3 receivers. One of them has to be open. Storch is open. Good catch. Good effort to get a couple extra yards.
Probably the most success Jerry Austin and the Vikings have seen all year through the air. Wechter has had time to throw, and he has done a great job hitting his open receivers. The ball spotted at the Viking 46 on 1st and 10. Yeagle behind Wechter. This is Yeagle straight up the middle. Nice blocking again by the Vikings into bogey territory across midfield. Called a gain of 4. Solid yards up the middle on first down.
Just an excellent game plan of banging it up inside, then he'll catch you with a counter or a trap, and then he'll have Wechter roll out and hit the flood pattern.
Timeout on the field for an official timeout for the players to get a little liquid refreshment, a little water break on the field with 5:58 remaining in the first half, and Northeast leading 12-0. Doug Wechter on the night, 4 for 6, 45 yards and a touchdown, and a lot of that credit belongs to the offensive line.
No doubt about it. Those guys are giving him plenty of protection, and he better let them know at halftime, hey guys, I appreciate this.
Jerry Austin has to be real pleased with what his team has done offensively. As you mentioned, Coach, they've mixed it up nicely, and they really haven't had a consistent offensive game since probably back in the Jamboree against Haines City.
And the big thing is they're hanging on to the football, which is important for Jerry Austin.
Vikings with the lead, trying to move their record to 5-0 on the season. Northeast also looking to move to 3-0 in district play. They came into tonight tied with Dixie Hollins at 2-0.
And the big game will be in 2 weeks when Northeast plays Dixie Hollins. And that should be for the district championship, as I'm guessing.
Todd Wilson again doing a fine job for the Rebels down in Dixie. That game will be featured right here on Time Warner. Dixie and Northeast in 2 weeks. Back to the present. This is Brian Houston with running room down the sideline. Look at this speed. All the way into the end zone. High step and touchdown. Northeast Vikings. And again, number 41, Brian Houston, showing outstanding speed as he goes all the way in from 49 yards out.
Except for Kenny Heaton, number 4, the only one to touch him. Here's a power sweep. Look at the blocking here. Excellent. Look at the hole. Good cut inside. Outstanding speed. Needs to put the football away, but outstanding speed.
He's a nose guard, though. He did tuck it away, but after he already got by the tackler, what unbelievable speed this guy has. Brian Houston doesn't carry the ball often. As mentioned, only 4 carries coming into the game, but when he touches the ball, he is explosive. 18-0 Northeast. Houston getting all kinds of congratulations from the sideline after that run.
And again, you have to credit that offensive line. That's nice blocking, good seals, and Houston got up inside.
Now for the extra point, Stork has a good snap, and this time he puts it right through the uprights. With the extra point, the Vikings, with 5:36 remaining in the half, have a 19-0 lead over Bogey, and they are heading for that 41.5 point average. This was not a team you thought they would be able to pick up a big scoring total against, because the Pirates have had a good defense all season long.
Sure, the Pirates ranked, I think they ranked 6th in the county defensively, so they're no slouches.
But Northeast has mixed up the pass with the run, and we've seen a new weapon tonight. Normally this year it's been the 3 back, so Zantrell Walton, Bryce Yeagle, and Adrian Ross. But just now we've seen a new man in the backfield, Brian Houston, number 41. When he hit that outside sideline, he was just a red blur heading down, and as you said, barely one player touched him. But other than that, he was pretty much gone, and the Vikings are having a good time in this homecoming evening.
I wonder who else they're hiding on the sideline.
Yeah, who's
to
next?
Run the football.
Who's next for this Jerry Austin high-powered offense? Look at that. They are the Vikings of the regular season, undefeated for the last 17 regular season games. They haven't lost since October 13th of '95 when Clearwater got them, almost 2 years ago to the day. Jerry Austin has had quite a run. with his Vikings, especially in the regular season. Again with the win, another strong kick. And again, Boca Ciega will take over 1st and 10 from its own 20. Unique foot apparel there from Mr. Ross.
They use that red tape to tape up the shoes, but you're absolutely right. It's colorful.
One red, one white. And it's worked so far with a touchdown reception for Northeast's first score of the night. And here's their last score. We'll give them an even 50 yards on that run for Brian Houston. It didn't take long. 5 plays for the Vikings to score, and the big run to cap it off. And there he is defensively. He's the nose guard. You wouldn't be able to tell by the speed he exemplified on that last run, but he is also the nose guard defensively. Bogey in a big hole, and Northeast D just swarming the running back. And guess who's on the tackle?
Number 41, Mr. Houston. He's having a great night.
Just nodding his head. We've seen him do it all year defensively, and here he gets plows Newton.
Newton does not have a chance. He gets hit in the backfield.
It was a loss of just marginal proportions. They're going to put it right back at the original line of scrimmage, so no loss on the play. 2nd down and 10 for Bogey, trailing 19-0 as we tick under 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Turnovers hurting the Pirates tonight. They have had a couple of turnovers, both leading directly to Northeast touchdowns.
Very conservative, just a fullback dive up inside. Brandon Stone, number 70, the Bogey center, has to be talking to himself right now. He's got Brian Houston right over top of his head, and he's very difficult to block when you've got quickness and speed like that.
Newton may be the quickest nose guard you see anywhere this season. He may be one of the quickest players defensively you see anywhere this season. He goes sideline to sideline as well as any player in this county. 3rd down and 6. Pirates need something offensively before the half, trailing 19-0. In the power eye behind Spearman and movement on the offensive line, and that'll be an easy call for the officials. Rob Andrews jumping the gun.
Dead ball, gentlemen, that's a false start. On the offense, repeat 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd down and 11.
A coach's nightmare. You're getting beaten, then all of a sudden your offense starts to fall apart a little bit. You start to miss the snap count. And Gene Gordon is beside himself right now, I'm sure.
There we are. High above John M. Sexton Field on a very windy night. Very pleasant evening as we head to the cooler October temperatures here in the Suncoast region of Florida. And again, before the play is snapped, we have a flag down, and again it's on Boca Ciega, and instead of what was 3rd down and 6 not too long ago, it's now going to be 3rd down and 16 and delay of game, play not getting in time.
I also think that center is snapping the ball a little early, and he's having a very difficult time with Houston.
Official timeout on the field right now. 3:37 remaining in this first half. Northeast leads at 19-0. Boca Ciega in a big hole here. 3rd down and 16.
Well, this is a very difficult call for Gene Gordon. Passing situation, you're throwing into the wind. You've got to pick up close to 15 yards to get the first down, and you don't want to give up another score before you go in at halftime.
Bogey, in addition to the 2 turnovers, has been penalized 5 times. Critical mistakes against a team you can ill afford to make mistakes against. 3rd and 16. And it's a misdirection, but not getting fooled at all are the Northeast Vikings, as going nowhere is Jervon Newton. He is hit by a host of Vikings. Adrian Ross in there amongst others.
Difficult to do anything if you don't block the 3 down people up front. You can come out in any formation you want, but if you don't block the nose guard and the 2 tackles, you're not going to go anyplace.
So in the punt is Wayman Newton into the wind, so a good opportunity for field position here for the Vikings. Back deep for Northeast is Andrew Harris. Another flag down. The kick is away on a couple of hops. Harris corrals it at the 38, past the 30 to the 20, cuts back to the open field, and he still eludes tacklers. Now fumbles the ball. The ball is loose at the 15-yard line. Another flag is down. Northeast has recovered the fumble, but all kinds of yellow flags to sort out on that play.
Very entertaining play, but I think it's going to come all the way back.
Andrew Harris weaving his way through tacklers, did everything right, but hang on to the football.
The officials are going to need to talk about this one.
There you see Harris, just a freshman. He is the third quarterback on this team. He is exciting, as Jerry Austin likes to put him in there on punt return. 6'3", 190 pounds, and just a freshman.
Personal foul.
We have an illegal procedure against the Pirates. And then we have a personal foul against the Pirates, both against the kicking team. So Northeast should have the football here, and they should have it right around, well, we'll wait to see what happens, but you would think it'd be inside the 10-yard line.
They'll probably just refuse the penalties.
6-minute line of scrimmage for the
refuse
offense.
That one for sure. See if the personal foul's tacked on.
That is accepted, half the distance, first down.
That will be tacked on to the return, so the ball will be placed inside the 10, half the distance to the goal line. As they were stopped at the 16 on the fumble recovery, so it should go to the 8. So Northeast will have it first and goal from the 8-yard line.
And you've got 2 minutes and 18 seconds to go. They're going to hammer it right down their throat.
Why not take time off the clock? The running game's been working. Northeast already leading 19-0, in danger of putting Bogey in almost an insurmountable hole heading into halftime. Yeagle behind Doug Wechter. Wonder who's going to get this ball. It's Yeagle. He's got some red shirts in front of him, but a great defensive play by Antonio Newton coming up from the secondary position. Also on the hit is number 32. That is, we believe that's Jervon Newton. He is
same formation they ran before with a wing overloading one side. Good job by Newton to come up strong.
So it's second down and still goal, but now instead of the ball being on the 8-yard line, it's just outside the 10. Again, Yeagle behind Doug Wechter. This is Zantrell Walton looking for room right side, finding a few yards, but tough going. A lot of Pirates around the football, maybe a gain of 3. It'll be third and goal.
Good job by big Matt King, 6'4", 265, to come down the line of scrimmage and make that tackle.
This will be a big defensive hold for Bogey, at least to come away with something before the half. Trailing 19-0, they can't afford to get much further behind.
If they give up a score, I would not want to give that halftime speech.
We're going to call it the 7 on third and goal. Timeout on the field. And a little bit of an equipment repair for, looks like Matt King, right around his helmet, his face mask. 56 seconds, that's not King actually, that is number 50, Rob Andrews. Big 6'4", 250-pound defensive end.
Definitely disappointing for Gene Gordon. He thought this would be his breakout season. He started out slow and lost 2 ball games. Come on strong the last 2 weeks. He expected a little better game tonight from his players.
Northeast has been successful on the ground. They have also been successful in the air. They have their choice here on third and goal from the 8. Yeagle the lone back. They fake it to Yeagle, looking for room. Throw deep in the end zone and overthrowing his receiver is Doug Wechter. That was intended for Philip Webster. Again, Webster overthrown.
Good pressure by number 32, Newton, up inside.
See Wechter pat himself on the chest saying, my fault. And coming in for a field goal attempt. Be about a 23, 24 yarder for Jeff Stork. He's going to place that tee down just inside the 15. So let's call it a 25. He's going to try and put Northeast up by a score of 22-0. Snap is down, the kick is up, and it is good. 42 ticks remaining in the first half. Jeffrey Stork connects on a 25-yard field goal. Northeast now leads 22-0, but Boca Ciega did not give up that touchdown on 1st and goal from the 8, so they still are within 3 scores and maybe a 2-point conversion.
And they have something to talk about in the locker room, that they actually, good job of holding them, keeping to the field goal. Something positive to talk about in the locker room.
Jeffrey Stork connects on the field goal. Northeast led 6-0 at the end of the first quarter. They have outscored Boca Ciega 16-0 in this quarter for the 22-0 lead. As mentioned earlier, Bogey came in with a 2-2 mark. They lost at Eastlake, played Eastlake as tough as anyone has this year, losing 7-0. Then a tough district loss to St. Pete, and that really hurt as they came into this game knowing they couldn't afford another loss in the district.
And that's an undefeated Eastlake football team. They're at 4-0 right now and playing real good football.
Eastlake's taking care of teams like Tarpon Springs in a big fashion. 46-12 last week, I believe, was the final against Tarpon Springs. Left-footed kick is bouncing toward the 5. Antonio Newton looking for blocking, and he is taken down inside his own 20 at about the 19-yard line. A tough night for Newton, no room to run. 37 ticks remaining in the first half. Boca Ciega trails at 22-0. And with this run-oriented offense, you wouldn't think that there would be enough time for Gene Gordon to do much here in the first half.
Now, I think he would be happy just really almost to take a knee, but he'll probably run the fullback up inside, get into the locker room, try to regroup, try to figure out what they're doing wrong, but don't give up anything stupid.
After that 0-2 start, Bogey came back with impressive wins against Lakewood at home and then a 48-12 defeat of Seminole on the road last week. But tonight they trailed 22-0. It is towards the middle, and Tony Brown looking for running room, first down, all the way to the 37-yard line. One of the best games of the night for Bogey. They'll stop the clock with 31 seconds, time to move the chains.
Caught the Vikings napping right there before halftime. Another young man with pretty good speed.
There you see the senior, Jeffrey Stork. He connected from 25 yards out to give Northeast a 22-0 lead. Vikings didn't pick up a first down in that drive. They started the drive at the 8 of the Pirates. Clock is moving, under 20 seconds remaining. Now we're inside 15. Spearman trying to get a play off quickly. We're at 10 seconds. Right up the middle and going nowhere. The defense of Northeast stopping the run there to the fullback. That was Jervin Newton on the carry, and that'll take us to halftime. All Northeast Vikings, especially here in the second quarter, Coach Miwa, as they really turned it on offensively and defensively.
And like we said, very difficult situation for Gene Gordon to go into the locker room, try to get his kids ready for the second half. They just did not play good football. Northeast played excellent football and held on to the football. Possibly
the best half of football so far this season for Jerry Austin's Northeast Vikings. They take a lead into halftime. It's Northeast 22, Bogey nothing. We'll come back with our halftime stats and more right after this. Back at John Sexton Field, Northeast High School, where the Vikings look to go to 5-0, and they're playing a very good football game so far, leading the Boca Ciega Pirates 22-0. And we'll take a look at how they got to that total of 22. Early on, it was in the air. Doug Wechter passing to Adrian Ross.
Wechter sets up, good setup right here, gets the ball up over the top. Nice touch on, nice catch, pretty easy, untouched, no pressure on Wechter.
Derek Huntley thought it was for him, but it was actually to Ross. And then Boca Ciega was plagued by trouble with the turnovers. Here, Antonio Newton is stripped nicely by Philip Webster, and Adrian Ross almost goes in again.
Good job by Webster to strip that ball. Hungry to get that football, get in the end zone. Nice escort.
But they were down at the 5 after a penalty put it back to the 13. It was Bryce Yeagle doing a nice job waiting for his blocker.
Good blocking. Smart runner, waits for the block and then makes the cut right here. Good look and run. Good effort to get in the end zone.
They made it 12-0, both extra points no good. And then Boca Ciega again turns the ball over. This time they look to throw, and Nick Spearman overthrows his receiver.
Outstanding effort to get that football. Good interception.
By Zantrell Walton, setting up this by Mr. Houston.
Look at the acceleration. Nice blocking, but watch the acceleration to get into the end zone.
Brian Houston from 50 yards out. He's also the nose guard. What outstanding speed. With the extra point, it was 19-0. They had a 25-yard field goal by Jeffrey Stork to make the score, as you see, 22 for the Northeast side and 0 for the Pirates. Really, when you break it down, the total yards aren't that disparaging. 179-70, but 2 big turnovers. Really.
Sure, Northeast takes advantage of turnovers and takes it right in and scores, and that's why it's 22-0.
134 rushing yards for Northeast. Just about everybody's getting the job done. Yeagle, Walton, Ross, and also Brian Houston on that one big carry for a touchdown you saw. That has Northeast on top at halftime by the score of 22-0. We're going to come back with the third quarter, second half kickoff right around the corner when we come back on homecoming week as they crown the king and queen here at Northeast High. $22-0 halftime score as we get ready for the third quarter kickoff. It'll be Jeffrey Stork, who loves kicking with this win. He has put a couple of balls into the end zone this way, and there you see the quarterback, Doug Wechter, for Northeast. Boca Ciega will get the ball first, trailing 22-0 in a big first series for them.
They will get the ball, but they're going to have to throw into that win, which is going to be real difficult for Nick Spearman.
So let's see if Stork puts another one in the end zone. It's a line drive with the wind, and it is fielded on the line by number 2, Gerard Reedy. Reedy looking for running room, crashes forward to the 26-yard line where Boca Ciega will take over, first down and 10.
Pretty decent field position to start off the second half.
So let's see if the Pirates can get something going. Nick Spearman, their junior quarterback, didn't throw a whole lot in the first half, but that's not unusual. Boca Ciega is a run-driven offense, which doesn't necessarily bode well when you're down 22-0. But we're early on in the third quarter, just the first play from scrimmage of the second half. They split out one receiver to the left, a couple of backs in the eye behind Spearman. It's the first back, Reedy. Check that, Brown, who is avoiding a couple of tackles before being pushed out of bounds after a first down. That's number 8, Tony Brown, with a first down run and a good start in the second half for Bogey.
They actually broke out of the power I, went to a wing, and just ran a straight dive right up inside. Brown's got excellent speed, did a good move to the outside.
Tony Brown, 5'10", 180-pound junior, coming in with 128 yards on the season. Picked up a solid 17 yards there or so for a first down. And good defense right there. And guess who we're going to call on the first defensive play of the second half? Brian Houston.
Not a whole lot your offensive backfield can do when you get tackled after your first step.
Brian
Excellent
Houston.
penetration.
Unbelievable quickness off the ball. As you mentioned earlier, Coach, he's right above the center, and watch what he does.
There's your tackle right there on the second step. Now, the only thing you can do offensively is cut down your line splits. Don't give him the room to get through.
Houston is a terror defensively, and we saw what he can do with the ball offensively on that 50-yard touchdown run. Called a loss of 1, second down and 11. There you see the power I behind Spearman. This is the pitch to Newton. Antonio gets a block, turns the corner. He's at the 40. He's got running room. Cuts it back into 30. He is gone. Antonio Newton needs one block, and he doesn't even need it. He gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Boca Ciega. No flags on the field, and the Pirates come out in the second half with exactly what they need, a touchdown to get back into this ball game.
And blistering speed you saw right there from Newton. Great option by Spearman to come down the line, get rid of it. Great block by Jordan on the outside there. And here is the kicking into speed. Watch the move back to the left. And just sheer speed, you're not going to catch him.
He ran about 80 yards, about 50 vertically and about 30 across the field. Antonio Newton, the senior running back, with a big touchdown run to give Boca Ciega its first points of the night. Now trying to tack on the extra point, and flags before the kick.
Dead ball. That's an encroachment on the defense.
Dead ball, encroachment foul on the defense. Kicking the extra point is number 99, Zach Stoudemire. They also use Danielle Aldridge, a female kicker at times, but this is number 99, Zach Stoudemire, in for the extra point. Try and make it a 22-7 game. The kick is up, and it is good. So a quick start in the second half for Bogey. They come out with a long touchdown run by Antonio Newton, and they get on the board. It's now Northeast 22, Boca Ciega 7. Coach, Boca Ciega really needed to come out the second half strong, and they did so.
Yeah, I think you have to credit the coaches for making adjustments in the locker room, and their blocking is changing the blocking assignments a little bit. That was wide open, great block by Jordan, good speed by Newton.
Zach Stoudemire kicking into a pretty brisk breeze, keeps it on the ground. It is fielded there, and an easy return as the big man gets tackled at his own 43-yard line, but that was Dante Johnson, the 6'3", 270-pound senior who plays on the offensive line at right tackle. Got to run a kickback, which he doesn't get to do often.
Questionable move right there. You just gave Northeast great field position right around the 40-yard line. If you're going to squib it, I'm going to squib it just a little bit deeper, maybe down to the 20-yard line.
Trying to avoid the wind, but it didn't pay off as Johnson picked it up on the quick hop. So again, great field position for Doug Wechter and the Northeast offense, leading 22-7. Wechter will hand it off. This is Bryce Yeagle fighting off tackler, still on his feet, pushing forward. Call it a gain of 8. Bryce Yeagle doing most of it himself on the second effort.
Now you can see why he's averaging 11.5 yards a carry. Just good hard running. There's a big stand here for Boca Ciega. If they can shut down Northeast, they can chip back and get into the ball game. They can't afford another Northeast scorer right now.
That's Antonio Newton. He took it 61 yards for the TD. It was a 4-play, 71-yard drive that took just over a minute as Boca Ciega came out firing out of the locker room. Big gain by Yeagle, call it a gain of 7, second down and 3. Just on their side of the 50-yard line. And they'll hand it to the second back through, Adrian Ross, and he is stuffed. Good defensive stand there by the Pirate defense, a swarm of tacklers.
Preston Ford, number 25, did an excellent job of staying home, watching the sweep, stepping up and making the tackle. Here's your little counter sweep right here. There's Ford, stays in. Not real big, but he grabbed part of the jersey.
This could be a big hold for Boca Ciega to get right back in this game. It's 3rd down and 3. The Pirates scoring first here in the second half. Northeast comes to the line of scrimmage behind the junior quarterback, Doug Wechter, 6'3", 200-pounder. Success in the air in the first half. Did miss on a couple passes, but he's been getting good protection. Instead, they keep it on the ground. Yeagle bouncing off tacklers. He's going to be stopped short. Right at midfield, he needed to get to the 48-yard line, so there is the hold for the Pirates defensively. And so far, everything going the way Gene Gordon had hoped for coming out in the second half.
Still an impressive run by Yeagle. He was hit by Jordan in the backfield and still picked up a couple yards.
So in the punt for the first time tonight is number 31, Joseph Cavallari. He'll be punting with a win, so a good chance to pin Boca Ciega deep in its own territory. Gerard Reedy and Newton deep, almost a block, good pressure put on. And there is Newton. He scored on a big long run. He's dangerous. Heading to his own sideline, getting some blocking help. Still on his feet. At midfield, still on his feet. And we're seeing a star here in the second half in Antonio Newton, finally tackled at the 46.
You talk about an exciting runner, and he is hungry right now. Good catch of a difficult ball to handle. It's up high, there's a strong wind. He gets up, he accelerates, gets to the sideline, and again, here's that outstanding speed. Breaks a tackle here, gets rid of his own player, and makes excellent yardage.
People are still taking their seats after the homecoming halftime show, and all of a sudden Boca Ciega's gotten back in the ballgame. Trailing 22-7, Gene Gordon's team has a 1st and 10 in Northeast territory at the 47. Nick Spearman, he'll hand off to the first back, Tony Brown, barrels forward, good yardage on 1st down, call it 6.
They found a little weakness on that left-hand side. They're good line splits, straight dive, nothing fancy, but good hard running by Tony Brown. There's your dive up inside, good line surge.
Tony, a junior, we are seeing a different offense in the second half here from the Pirates. Shut out in the first half, already with 7 points, looking for more here in the third quarter. Brown and Gerard Reedy are in the backfield behind Spearman. Spearman's gonna throw, pressured, fires over the middle, has the receiver, but hitting the receiver at the same time as the ball arriving is Antrell Walton. No flag, great defensive play.
Outstanding catch. You know you're going to get hit, and you hang on to the football. Spearman had a difficult time. He had somebody right in his face as he threw the football. Here's the pressure. Tough to stay in there. Excellent catch.
What a catch. Great concentration. Derek Huntley with the pressure. Wayman Newton with the catch. Nick Spearman threw it down the middle, found the open receiver, and a great job of concentration by Wayman Newton. 1st and 10. Boca Ciega is inside the 15. It's a pitch back. This is Tony Brown, and he plows forward, hitting the freshman Andrew Harris. Big collision and gaining about 3 yards is Brown on 1st down in a spirited Boca Ciega offense right now.
Nice looking run here on the sweep because Jordan is leading the way. He waits, and then he accelerates back up inside, lowers his shoulders, gets the pads on the defenders, picks up an extra 2 yards. Nice looking run.
And now coming back in after the breather, Antonio Newton. Gerard Reedy will take a seat. So Newton, who scored on the long run to get things going for Boca Ciega, back in the ball game. He is the eye in the formation behind Spearman. It's the first back, Tony Brown, inside the 10, inside the 5, and he is taken down at about the 2.5-yard line. Boca Ciega knocking on the door once again, trailing 22-7.
Just a little veer option look to the right-hand side. Good cut back inside, great blocking downfield. Good effort to get an extra couple yards. Knocking on the door, you are right.
We have a whole different ball game. The first half, it was all Northeast. So far in the second half, it's been all Boca Ciega. Whatever Gene Gordon said in the locker room so far is working. Spearman with the eye behind him. Hands off to Brown. He is tackled inside the 2, maybe down to the 1. It'll be 2nd and goal from there.
And again, nothing fancy. You're just trying to break the plane to that goal line. They're getting real close. Again, straight dive by the fullback. Good job by Ross to come up and help out.
Good angle there, showed that Brown got down to the 1. We have a water break timeout on the field, 5:49 remaining in the third quarter. And Coach Miwa, some great adjustments made by Boca Ciega at halftime.
You made a good comment. I'd like to find out what Gene Gordon said at halftime. He's got these kids fired up. And it's great to see him come back. When you're down 22-0, it's real easy to lower your head, walk out, and just give up. They're not giving up.
Boca Ciega has about a yard to get to that pylon in a 22-14 game. We'll see if they do so when we come back right after this timeout. 2nd and goal from the 1, 22-7, Boca Ciega trails. They hand off and Brown is stuffed. Led by Adrian Ross, and he gets help from a whole lot of red shirts. Ross was in the backfield in a hurry. And what a defensive stand there by Northeast on 2nd and goal from the 1.
Don't like to second guess Gene Gordon, but you have a foot to go for a touchdown and you take the ball and you hand it back 3 yards to a back. Spearman's a big kid. He's about 185 pounds. Sneak that ball into the end zone.
Now they have a decent 3 yards to gain to get to the end zone. It's 3rd and goal from the 3 and trailing by at least 2 scores. You have to think this is 2-down territory for the Pirates. We will see. 5 minutes remain in the third quarter. Spearman under center in the I formation. He'll keep it himself on the option. He gets in for a touchdown. Wait, it is now a touchdown. There's the signal. 22-13. Boca Ciega has scored all his points here in the second half.
Good. The option look is the hardest thing to cover down on the goal line because you go man-to-man. You have 3 people to cover. Spearman does an excellent job of squaring his shoulders up, gets in the end zone.
Little delayed call by the official, but we did get the touchdown call. It's now 22-13. At some point, Bogey needs a 2-point conversion, and we'll see if they go for it here. No, they're going to go for just the 1. This will put them down by 8 if the conversion is successful. It's currently 22-13. Zach Stoudemire in, and there's a flag before the play is underway.
Encroachment.
Dead ball foul, and it's encroachment on Northeast. So now you think about the 2-point conversion. You need one eventually, and they are going to go for 2.
Good call.
Northeast is leading 22-13, so the Pirates need at least another 8 points, even with the conversion. So instead, they're going for the 2-pointer here, Coach.
And number 83, Derek Huntley, the defensive end, is going to be talking to himself about that. He's the one that jumped on that right-hand side.
Keep playing this game. It is going to be at the 1.5-yard line off the dead ball foul, and Boca Ciega is going to call a timeout to make sure they have the exact play they want in there on this 2-point conversion. Let's take a look at the districts, especially Class 5A District 10, which is what we're involved in tonight. Dixie and Northeast at the top. A must-win game tonight for Boca Ciega, and they look dead in the water after the first half, but they have come back strong here in the second half.
And again, like we said before, credit the coaches for a great halftime talk, getting them fired up and making adjustments. That's the big thing at halftime. You can do all the talking you want, but if you don't change things and pick up what Northeast is doing, it's not going to help in the second half.
The ball, as of right at this moment, is still spotted at the 3, and I'm not exactly sure why. They did not mark it to the 1.5, so instead of Boca Ciega getting the ball at the 1.5, they're back at the 3, so maybe there was no penalty, and they're going to take an extra point attempt. So no 2-point conversion. They're going back to the extra point. The ball is still spotted at the 3, and we'll see what happens here. Zach Stoudemire waits for the snap. It's down. The kick is up, and it is good. So they get the 1-point conversion and now trail by 8, so they'll have to go for 2 if they get in the end zone again. It is a 22-14 game. Boca Ciega has scored on both of its possessions, and Northeast went 3 and out on its only possession. A whole different scenario in this game in the second half.
Now the pressure is on Jerry Austin. I'm sure his kids at 22-0 kind of just took a little bit of a nap, and you lose the momentum. Now he's got to try to get them fired up to get back in the ball game and say, hey guys, you're going to lose this game if you don't get fired up.
After perhaps his team's best half of the season in the first half, they have come out sluggish, as you mentioned, Jim Miwa, and Boca Ciega has gotten itself right back in this ball game. It's 22-14. Nick Spearman took it in from 3 yards on the option to cap a 53-yard drive in 7 plays, and it took Bogey 3 minutes and 20 seconds to get in the end zone. And all of a sudden, what looked like potentially a blowout at halftime has become a great District 10 battle here in South County at John Sexton Field in Northeast. Into the wind, this kickoff's going to be short. Taken at the 22-yard line. This is Ross. He is dangerous, finding room, waiting for his blocks, taking it all the way up past midfield. He fumbles the ball, and Boca Ciega may have recovered. They have done so. That was actually Nathan Holmes on the return. Holmes is fumbled, and Boca Ciega has taken control of the ball. It has been all Pirates here in the second half.
And difficult situation. You watch those Northeast kids walking off the field. They're down.
They have a right to be. They have seen a 22-0 halftime shutout turn into a ball game. You watch Nathan Holmes here.
Looks like a pretty good run up inside. Good picking and weaving right here, and just gets stripped. He doesn't have the football tucked away. Good hit there. Marcus Whitner on the hit.
Turnovers have plagued Jerry Austin all season long, and again here with his team in an important situation. A turnover on special teams. Before the play starts, we have a yellow flag on the field and a false start.
On the offense.
On the offense, as we hear the referee tell us at the very end there. 4:47 remaining in the third quarter. What a turnaround this has been. Boca Ciega and Northeast are now tied at 2 in the turnover department. Northeast has been averaging 4 turnovers a game. And a very frustrating second half for Jerry Austin.
It'll be interesting to see if Bogey can keep the tempo up. Difficult to do that.
Up the middle, a fumble, and the ball's taken away by Webster. He made the strip and the recovery for the second time tonight. Number 35, Philip Webster, causes a fumble, and the Northeast defense gives it right back to the offense.
And there's a strong hit. He just reached right inside and took the football. Just stripped it away, picked it up, tried to get a couple yards.
That is 2 forced fumbles on the night for that guy. The 6'2", 180-pound junior, Philip Webster. And that was a key break for Northeast, as all the momentum had been in Boca Ciega's favor in this half. So now the Vikings take over. 1st and 10, inside Bogey territory at the 37-yard line. Ciega the lone back behind Wechter. Here is Bryce Ciega on the pitch. He is hit, looking for more room, and here come all the white shirts. The initial stop was made by number 98. Check that. Number 32, that is Jervon Newton.
Newton made the initial penetration, and then you had Tony Brown come along for the hit. There's the penetration. Then you're going to see the hit up here by Brown and just a host of other Pirates.
Jervon Newton, there you see him wearing number 32 tonight. He has done a nice job on both sides of the ball. There you look at Tony Brown as well. He just made that hit. It is 2nd down, called a loss of 3. 2nd and 13 for the Vikings. Wechter pitches back. It's the reverse. And they hand it inside. An inside double handoff. This is number 21, Adrian Ross, off the handoff to the first back through, Zancho Walton.
This is your counter off the power sweep, and you get the double handoff. You know that Jerry Austin has it. You've got to practice against it, but he may not run it the entire ball game. There's the first time we've seen that play.
Great pancake block there by one of the linemen on Northeast. Couldn't get his number. However, there is a flag down. Didn't see that flag right in front of the Northeast bench, but it is going against the Vikings, and it is a big mark-off of 15 yards. We'll wait for the official called.
On the offense, Pete, 3rd down.
It's a dead ball, personal foul against Northeast. 3rd down, and instead of about 4, it's 3rd down and about 19. Big penalty. Boca Ciega looking for more momentum. Has a great chance to hold again here. Wechter on 3rd and long will have to throw. Has time, fires over the middle, and a great sliding catch made at the 27-yard line by Adrian Ross.
Good job by Wechter in a 5-step drop to set up. Sets up nice and tall at 6'3", throws it. It's a timing pattern, and receiver leaves his feet. Nice catch using his hands.
Just enough for the 1st down on a 20-yard reception by Adrian Ross.
And again, I've got to credit that offensive line. No pressure on Wechter. He was able to set up. He could see the whole field. Nice throw.
Bringing the play in is Jeffrey Stork. 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Clock is moving, remaining in the 3rd quarter. There you see the score. Northeast looking for its first points here in the 2nd half. Wechter hands off Ciega. He is slammed, stays on his feet, and finally stopped after no gain. Ciega doesn't go down often after the first hit. And another flag comes in late.
And you know that was a good hit when you see the helmet snap on his 2nd step.
You got dead ball, gentlemen. That's unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense.
That hurts. Definitely hurts.
That'll be a big 15 yards, which is, in this case, is half the distance to the goal line. There you see the helmet snap back.
Now you have a neighborhood rivalry right here with these kids, and you know that there's some trash talk going back and forth, but the officials are going to call it.
Northeast got called a few plays ago, and now the call goes against Boca Ciega all the way inside the 15 to the 14, and a very critical penalty by the Pirates there, unsportsmanlike conduct. Good numbers for Doug Wechter tonight. His best night as a passer all season long.
Say that one more time.
This is Brian Houston reversing direction, slipping down, and finally getting tackled. He tried about everything but couldn't find any running room and actually lost a yard or two.
I think it was a good job by Matt King to make penetration to screw up the entire play. Here's your little toss sweep to the outside. Little causes Houston to go back the other way, slips. He's a hard man to bring down.
Isn't he? He's dangerous. They're going to bring him back out. Doesn't carry the ball often, but when he does, exciting things happen. He lost 4 on the play at 2nd and 14. Big drive here for Jerry Austin's Northeast Vikings to try and get something going in the second half. Yeagle is loaned back behind Doug Wechter. Wechter hands off to Yeagle, nothing there. Boca Ciega's defense doing a fine job stacking up the fullback. Matt King, Willie Jordan, names we have called all night long on the defense.
Yeagle's about 5'10", about 180 pounds, and King on his back is 6'4", 265. Those legs are going to give.
Also Ben Starling in there on the hit. Ben's a little guy, but he has got a huge heart, makes a lot of hits on that Boca Ciega defense. Minute 20 and counting, remaining in the third quarter. Big third down here, 3rd and call it 12. Wechter, 5 for 8 on the night throwing. Fires as he's hit, end zone, touchdown, Zontrell Walton. Wide open at the goal line was Walton. A breakdown in the Boca Ciega secondary, and Northeast takes a 28-14 lead, and again the flag, but this is after the play. So maybe unsportsmanlike on the receiver for
First time that Wechter had some pressure in his chest as he throws. Wide open receiver, great call by the coaches. 2 receivers wide open.
Wechter had not thrown a touchdown pass in 4 games coming into tonight, has thrown 2 this evening, and has given the Vikings a 28-14 lead. That late flag will go against Northeast after the touchdown. It'll be an unsportsmanlike, possibly taunting on the receiver Walton. The flag was thrown in his general direction. And now it'll make it a very long extra point. One of was the equivalent of a 35-yard field goal for Jeff Stork.
I am really impressed with Doug Wechter tonight, the way he stands up in the pocket, finds his receivers, and throws the football.
With the win, Stork, extra point from 35 yards is good. Great job by Jeffrey Stork connecting from what amounted to a 35-yard field goal. The extra point is good. We have 1:10 left in the third quarter with the score. Northeast 28, check that 29, Boca Ciega 14. Doug Wechter, 2 touchdown passes on the night. The first score of the evening to Adrian Ross. The last score to Zontrell Walton. His receivers have been getting open.
Before the ball game, I was a little skeptical. I knew they could run the football, but I didn't think Wechter could throw. I've changed my mind.
With the win, a low line drive kick taken on the hop by Reedy. Gerard Reedy looking for running room at his own sideline, gets forced out of bounds at about the 28-yard line, where Nick Spearman will take over 1st and 10.
Big question here to see if Bogey has the heart to come back and make this a football game.
Good news for Bogey is, although they are not a passing team, they will have the wind in their favor in the fourth quarter. 1:05 left here in the third. The Northeast, after a 22-0 halftime lead, scores its first touchdown here in the second half, has taken a 29-14 lead. Spearman with the power eye behind him. Jordan, Newton, and Brown. And they hand it off on the counter, and tackle there for relatively no gain is Jordan. Willie Jordan going not very far, maybe a couple.
They're going to have a little more success with an option on the outside because they may fumble the football, but they need to make the big play. Running up inside is not going to make it right now.
16-yard TD pass capping off that scoring drive. There you see Zontrell Walton. He roams that secondary. He was on the receiving end of that touchdown pass. Second down and 8. Ball at the Boca Ciega 30-yard line. Spearman, hands off. Not much there again. This time the ball came out in the Northeast Vikings' hands, but the officials say Tony Brown was down. Call it another gain of 2. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Linebacker Ben Mead, not very big, but I'll tell you, he will step up and hit you, number 55.
Clock ticks down to 1-0, and we are through 3 quarters.
Yeah!
So Boca Ciega coming back nicely in the 3rd quarter, but a late touchdown by Northeast at the end of the quarter has given the Vikings a 15-point lead once again. The score at the end of 3 is Northeast 29, Boca Ciega 14. Back with the 4th after this. 12 minutes remaining. Boca Ciega trailing by 15. Northeast looking to stay a perfect 5-0 on the season with a win tonight. They have one more quarter of action remaining. Boca Ciega with a nice comeback out of the locker room, scoring the first 14 points in the second half, but now trailing by 15.
Definite passing situation right here for Spearman.
3rd down and a long 5, call it 3rd and 6. Spearman with a couple of backs behind him. Make it the power I, 3 backs behind him, and movement on the right side.
I think that's Wayman Newton, number 80, big tight end, and I mean big. A little anxious.
Wayman goes at 6'4", 225 pounds. Senior with a nice catch in the 3rd quarter as he was being hit, but there he jumped the gun a little, so what was 3rd and about 6 is now 3rd and about 11.
These are the calls that are really difficult for a power I offense because you don't have the wide open attack and it's hard to pick up that big yardage.
Watch the guy right over the football for Northeast, number 41, Brian Houston. He is a terror, and he will try and do something to break up this play. Back to pass, Spearman throws deep down the middle, overthrows his receiver, had the win with him, and led his receiver Antonio Newton a little too far, so Boca Ciega will have to punt on 4th and long.
Good play action pass right there. He got a lot of pressure up inside by number 51 and had to throw it just a little quicker than he wanted to.
Oh, Wayman Newton, who was called on that legal procedure earlier, false start, is also the punter. He is standing at his own 15. He has the win with him, so anything in the air should gain about 5 or 10 extra yards as you see the return men backing up. The punt is blocked. I believe Houston got it. The ball is loose, and it is, either way, it's going to be Northeast ball at the 10-yard line. I believe it was Brian Houston who got in there for the block, and if so, he has done just about everything tonight, offensively, defensively, and now on special teams.
Here you're going to see it coming all the way through right here. 41, Brian Houston. This is something that's plagued Gene Gordon for the first 4 ball games. Specialty teams have killed him, and it hurt him again here.
What else can that guy do? Brian Houston, a 50-yard touchdown run, all over the place as the nose guard defensively, and there he blocks a punt on special teams, and a penalty flag down. Boca Ciega has a penalty called on them.
You have a dead ball, Jim. It's legal substitution on the defense. Still 1st down.
There's the explanation, 1st and goal, but now instead of the ball at the 10, it's now at the 5.
It kind of helps if you can put 12 men on the field. You can't get away with it.
So Doug Wechter trying to bring the Vikings into the end zone once again. This would be a big blow against Boca Ciega. Put them down by 3 scores again. Zontrell Walton on the left side. Ciega on the right side. Pitch back to Walton. 5, goal line, touchdown. He stays on his feet for the score. Boca Ciega's defense couldn't stop Zontrell Walton. It's now a 35-14 game.
Excellent surge by the right side of the Viking line to give him an easy touchdown. Watch the guards pull. Dante Johnson gets up inside. Easy touchdown.
For Walton, his 5th touchdown of the year, his 2nd tonight, 1 rushing, 1 receiving. That was his 5th rushing touchdown of the year. And leading 35-14. Another penalty flag in the end zone. Let's see this call.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct.
Again.
All about dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the defense.
We have 2 unsportsmanlike conducts after the touchdown, 1 on each side.
Head referee Ray Johnson does an excellent job. I'm sure he wants to keep this under control. There's a lot of talking going back and forth. He's just not going to let it get out of control.
So the ball is brought back to the 18 on the unsportsmanlike conduct against Northeast, and from there they will march at half the distance back to the goal line on the unsportsmanlike conduct on Boca Ciega. So even though technically they're both 15-yard penalties, Boca Ciega gets the benefit because they had half the distance to the goal line. The ball's at the 9.
I'm glad you have that figured out.
15 against Northeast and about 8.5 against Boca Ciega. So we'll see if Mr. Stork tries.
You had your touchdown, obviously, Coach. Then you had a dead ball and sportsmanlike number 20.
Okay, here we go.
Jerry Austin getting the explanation. And the 2 men who were flagged were Adrian Ross and Gerard Reedy for unsportsmanlike conducts.
Little celebration in the end zone by Northeast, you know, and these are the kids that watch the NFL, you know, on Sunday, and they see it done.
Good point.
And they just don't think about it. They get in there and they have a good time.
Let's see, Jerry Austin's electing to go for 2 from the 9-yard line. 35-14 lead. Wechter will have Yeagle and Walton in the backfield. Walton now lines up as a wing. Stork is split out to the right side. On the snap, Wechter throws. It is incomplete. There is a penalty flag down there. Check that. That's a pylon. No penalty flag. So it's incomplete. 2-point conversion is no good. And with 11:44 remaining in the game, it's 35-14 Northeast.
They had trouble with that play from the very beginning. A little exchange problem with the center, and Wechter just didn't have the football and a poor throw.
So Zontrell Walton with a couple of scores tonight. Bryce Yeagle has a score. They are well balanced in their rushing attack. Yeagle has 6 touchdowns. Ross has 4. Walton has 5. And Northeast averaging 41.5 points a game, nearing that total again tonight, leading Boca Ciega 35-14.
Just an incredible number of running backs that can get on the field and move the football. Just amazing. When you can take your nose guard, you can put him over as a running back, and he looks like one of the best running backs in the county.
Talked about Doug Wechter's night. One of the guys that has to be happy is the quarterback's coach, who's standing next to his father with the headsets, Jay Austin, a former quarterback here at Northeast.
And I'm sure Jerry just really enjoys having his son as one of his coaches. His other son, Sean, played quarterback for him also and helps on the sideline.
So 3 Austins, all thinking alike on the sideline, at least most of the time. As Jay is right there in the headsets on the left part of your screen, former quarterback here at Northeast. And his other son, as you mentioned, is a baseball star now in the Giants organization, a pitcher at the Class A level. Kickoff out of bounds. Boca Ciega will take over with good field position.
Jay Austin had an interesting career. He started out at the University of Florida, transferred to Louisville, was there for a year and a half, then transferred to Arkansas A&M for 3 years.
There is
an outstanding career at Arkansas A&M.
Kickoff team, kicking it again.
Dad looks pretty comfortable with a 35-14 lead. Dixie Holland, the other team undefeated in this district. The Rebels taking on Countryside next Thursday. Remember, that's a special Thursday night game coming your way October 16th, seen only on Time Warner Channel 7. Then the following night, this crew gets right back up and takes on the Tarpon Spring Spongers Lakewood Spartans game. Terrell White bowling over tacklers like that one, as we will see back-to-back games. Game of the week, ×2, Thursday night, Friday night.
right here on Time Warner, Channel 7. Well, the penalty will push back the Vikings 5 yards, and they'll have to kick it again. Antonio Newton, Tony Brown, the deep men for Boca Ciega, and we have seen the explosiveness from Newton earlier. And the kick will go to Newton. He takes it on the fly. His blockers are all in front of him. And he still eludes a tackle all the way to the 40. Newton had nobody in front of him but red shirts, and he somehow eluded a tackle by Nathan Holmes and ended up making a 20-yard gain on the play.
Smart move by Newton. He started to get into the wall, which is on the right-hand side, changed his mind. All he had to do is make one move right here and turn on the Jets.
He is a dangerous runner. We've already seen him score from 61 yards and also almost return a kick all the way on a punt. And there he puts Boca Ciega in good field position at the 43-yard line. Pirates need a score. They need a score in a hurry, trailing by 21 points with 11:38 remaining in the game. Power eye, and they're going to throw out of the power eye. Spearman has time, looking deep, fires way over his receiver's head all the way to the 5-yard line.
Well, Nick Spearman shows us he has a strong arm, but the receiver just fell down. Not even close.
Bogey will be throwing with the wind the entire fourth quarter. That time, Spearman overcompensated, or didn't compensate for the win by overthrowing his receiver. So it's 2nd down and 10, ball at the 42-yard line.
When you line up in a power eye offense, you basically have a one receiver passing game, except for maybe dragging the tight end. Makes it difficult.
'41 is Brian Houston. If you haven't heard about him tonight, you haven't watched our game. He has done just about everything. He lines up his nose guard on 2nd and 10. This is a pitch back to Newton, looking for blocking. Look at that quickness. He's got the first down all the way inside Northeast territory to the 47, but there is a flag on the play. He just hits those holes with unbelievable quickness, does Antonio Newton. He can't believe a holding penalty is going to bring it back.
I think that's a wide receiver who grabbed as he came back for a crack back. They'll go down on the option. The wide receiver comes inside. I think he grabs the jersey.
He's fun to watch. Unfortunately, that play is called back. Antonio Newton, a 5'8", 161-pound senior, has one of the 2 Pirate touchdowns on the night. Instead of a first down in Northeast territory, it's now 2nd and 20. Back at the Boca Ciega 33-yard line. Spearman wants to throw, gets pressured, they're trying to set up the screen. They get it to Jordan, and he is taken down at about the 42-yard line. Good job by the Vikings linebackers to swarm to big number 46, Willie Jordan.
Good idea, but the offensive line took off a little too soon. Mr. Jordan was there by himself after he caught the ball. Excellent call, but you see it right here. The linemen are a little too far ahead. He gets caught from behind, and that's Moody, number 24.
Gene Gordon said he had quick offensive linemen, but that time they were out too far in front. You gotta hang back and block those linebackers. It was a gain of 10 though on the call and the execution. So it's now 3rd and 10. They got half the distance back that they needed. Spearman back to throw, waiting for his back to swing out of the backfield, but before he could do so, Derek Huntley from behind grabs him around the ankles and takes him down for the sack. And that'll set up 4th and long in another Boca Ciega punting situation.
Actually, it looked like pretty good protection right here. Huntley, extra effort. He's on the ground, reaches out, grabs the ankles. 6'2", 210.
Derek Huntley's played a nice game. Tight end and defensive end for Jerry Austin's Vikings. Austin and the Vikings en route to their 18th consecutive regular season victory. Northeast bringing some pressure, but a nice kick away by Wayman Newton. It is taken there by Jeffrey Stork, and he gets sent down on a big hit by Antonio Newton. Flags come in also. He may have been blocked in the back in addition to making the tackle.
He got hit by Newton and his own player, Derek Huntley, who was trying to come back and block.
Antonio Newton has been the star for Boca Ciega tonight. He just made that hit on special teams, and he got clipped. That's double duty, when he can get clipped and still make the play. And he's one tired young man.
It's nice to see the young man's not giving up when you're down 35-14 in the fourth quarter.
He got clipped right into the returner. There's Antonio, and that is not a misprint. His name is A-N-T-H-O-N-I-O, and a variation between Anthony and Antonio. Antonio Newton. So Northeast, after the penalty, has the ball back at its own 12-yard line, and Jerry Austin will like to see the clock run here with 9:31 remaining in the game, and his team leading by 21. And on the pitch back, the ball is fumbled. Boca Ciega picks it up, and all the way down to the 5-yard line goes the Pirates. Exactly what you don't want with a 21-point lead.
Credit Rob Andrews, number 50, of crashing down from the inside as a defensive end and causing the fumble.
The pitch back was never handled successfully.
There's the, you're right, it's on the ground. Andrews gave a lot of pressure to Yeagle.
And picking up the ball, Jervon Newton returning it all the way inside the 5. They're going to tack on a penalty, possibly a face mask. So now it's inside the 3, call it the 2. First and goal for Bogey, and this game's not over yet with 9:24 remaining. Antonio Newton is the deep back in the power I. In front of him, Willie Jordan and Tony Brown. Behind the quarterback, Nick Spearman. Spearman will take it himself on the naked bootleg, and now he's going to throw, end zone, and it is incomplete. Intended for number 80, Wayman Newton. He tried to make a diving catch, just couldn't hang on.
And Spearman had the ball down just a little bit too low. He got on the outside. He just doesn't have the extra step to get it in the end zone. Catchable football, very catchable.
He threw it a little low, but that's a play Newton has to make. Instead, it's second and goal from the 2. Clock is stopped with 9:19. Play comes in. Preston Ford, who's had some big plays defensively, almost had a block punt, brings it in to Nick Spearman. Second and goal from the 2. You have to expect the ball on the ground here. Either Tony Brown in the front or Antonio Newton in the back. It is Tony Brown up the middle, left side, looking for the goal line. No signal. He must be just short. They are going to spot it just short of the goal line and maybe the 6-inch line.
Boy, that's a difficult call. He makes a great move right here just to get to the end zone. Stretches out the ball, but his knees obviously hit before he could get the ball out there.
As close as you can come to scoring without going in. You talked earlier, when the ball's this close to the end zone, you think about the quarterback over the top. You have to beware of number 41, Brian Houston, who's so quick over the center. Third and goal. Bogey needs 3 scores. Spearman under center, hands off to Newton. He is into the end zone. Touchdown, Boca Ciega. 35-20 now the score, as the Pirates take advantage of the fumble and take it in for a touchdown.
Jerry Austin had a little chance to relax there on the sideline. Now he's going to get a little uptight because Bogey is climbing back into the ball game. Good power running up inside. Good surge by the offensive line.
Second touchdown of the night for Newton, his 7th on the season. We have an injured Boca Ciega Pirate down, and that is Nick Arison, a 5'11", 155-pound sophomore. There you see Nick down at the goal line. Antonio Newton with 7 touchdowns on the season goes in from a yard out, and Boca Ciega gets right back in this game. Northeast had the ball with about 9:19 remaining, or about 9.5 remaining in the game, and a big fumble by Zantrell Walton on the pitch has given Boca Ciega new life. They now trail by 2 scores with 8:34 remaining in the game.
If you're Jerry Austin, you're probably talking to yourself, when is this going to end? We've been fumbling coming into the 5th ball game, 4 or 5 times a game. When will it end?
It looked like it might end tonight with only 1 turnover after 1 half, but 2 turnovers here in the second half. And there you see the score. It's actually a 35-20 Northeast lead.
99, Zach Salazar kick, 19 next serve in the hole.
And in for the extra point, number 99, Zach Stoudemire. Before the kick, flags are down. A lot of trouble with these extra points and penalties.
It's been a problem for Boca Ciega all year, and it's continuing.
You have a dead ball, gentlemen. That's an encroachment on the defense. Try for point.
So half the distance to the goal line. They'll try another extra. No, they're going to try for 2 here. Now that they're in the 1.5 yard line, Gene Gordon sends in the offense to try for 2.
Not a bad call right here, especially when you pick up that extra 1.5 yards.
35-20 game. An extra point, a 2-point conversion rather, would make it a 13-point game. Power eye behind Spearman and a new tailback. Spearman's going to keep it himself. In trouble. Lobs one for the end zone. Touchdown. Or excuse me, 2-point conversion. On the 2-point conversion, the ball was tipped and hung in the air for what seemed like forever, Coach. But Wayman Newton came down with it, and it's now a 13-point game.
When you're that wide open, a good job by Spearman. He knew he was that wide open. Got the ball in the air as he's getting hit. Here you're going to see the play action. He gets hit, gets it up in the air, wide open. Big receiver.
Wayman Newton takes the 2-point conversion pass from Nick Spearman, and now Boca Ciega trails 35-22. And Gene Gordon's team capitalizes on the turnover and stays in this thing. 8:34 remaining in the game.
Now you look with 8:34 in the game, do you start thinking about onside kicks? Do you need to get the football back? You've got quite a number of points to make up here yet.
Boca Ciega has the win at their backs. So the kickoffs from this side, from the right to left, have been going pretty deep for both sides. We will see. Northeast bunches a little bit near midfield, anticipating the potential for an onside. It is a squibber, bounces all the way down to the 10 where Jeffrey Stork takes it. Stork towards the middle of the field. Finds a lot of white shirts waiting for him at the 33-yard line. Good return for Northeast. They'll take over 1st and 10, 8:27 remaining in the game.
Storch is a tough little kid at about 5'9", about 150 pounds. Catches the football, gets up inside, plays defense, plays a little bit of all the specialty teams.
That could be our new number 5, Antonio Newton. We think that's not Eduardo Jordan, but it is Newton. Number 20's jersey was ripped, so he changed to number 5. So that wasn't a new tailback in on the 2-point conversion. It was Newton. There was a big hit. Matt King, hello. And welcome to Adrian Ross's world. Wow.
I'm sure Adrian will go back into the huddle and say, hey guys, get that big guy off my back. 6'4", 265.
And remember, a sophomore. Everybody goes forward except for the runner. Matt King took him backward.
Gene Gordon's been waiting for Matt King to get aggressive all season. He wants, if he does, he can really dominate.
Boca Ciega, you see their helmet emblems, very similar to the swashbuckling Buccaneer new logos. Jerry Austin hoping his team stays undefeated on the season. They have 7:44 remaining in the game, leading by 13. Yeagle, he is stopped for relatively no gain. Boca Ciega is playing quite a second half of football.
You're definitely fired up when you can get Yeagle behind the line of scrimmage. There you go, Yeagle. Yeagle's hit from behind.
Harley Farmer, number 10, also in on that hit, along with Matt King. 3rd down and 9 for Northeast. Possibly a throwing situation here, although they're trying to kill the clock. They are going against the wind. Critical in a possible punt situation, too. They are going to try and throw. Wechter back, pressure, throws, complete, but well short of the 1st down. 2 men in on the hit there. You saw the pressure against Wechter on the hit. Preston Ford and Harley Farmer again on the hit. It's going to be a punting situation.
Just aggressive defense here by Boca Ciega. Good pressure.
Rob Andrews.
Good hit.
Rob Andrews with the pressure. Preston Ford and Harley Farmer on the stop, and Boca Ciega is alive and kicking with 6:22 and counting remaining in the game. Again, having to punt into the wind. The Bogey players might be a little too deep right now at their own 27-yard line.
I definitely agree with you, Todd, that they need to move up a little bit.
Here is the kick. It is a very good kick, but the wind's going to hold it up to the 30. Taking it there in a dangerous catch and run is Antonio Newton, I believe. Let's see as the jersey gets straightened out. That is Newton, now wearing number 5.
Took a lot of guts to go up there and catch that football, and he took a pretty good pop. You mentioned Harley Farmer, number 10, the younger brother of Matt Farmer, who was the all-everything linebacker at Boca Ciega High School, a freshman at the University of Florida. He's being redshirted this year, and actually they switched him to fullback. Big kid.
Official timeout for a water break. We have exactly 6 minutes remaining in our ball game, and what looked like at halftime to be a northeast rout has turned into quite a game. Give the Pirates of Boca Ciega a lot of credit for hanging in here in the second half. They trail 35-22, and they have the ball with, as you see, exactly 6 minutes remaining, and they have the wind at their backs for the remainder of the game. Doug Wechter has thrown a couple of touchdown passes today. Speaking of brothers, his brother Pete playing defensive end up at the Citadel, former Northeast Viking standout. Jerry Austin is watching his team on this homecoming Friday play a very solid first half and again turn the ball over with too much frequency in the second half.
You just can't seem to shut the door on teams. They stay in the ball game.
Newton now wearing number 5. They fake to Newton. They throw deep for Antonio Newton. This ball's almost intercepted. Jantrell Walton couldn't quite come up with it. And the ball falls incomplete. They turned Newton loose out of the backfield, but that pass was overthrown by Spearman.
Again, out of the power eye, it's a one-man pattern that makes it real difficult. They're going to concentrate on Newton going down the field. Spearman does have a nice arm.
Looked like Walton should have had that. Didn't quite break on it very quickly.
Walton looked like he may have lost it in the lights here. It was a pretty high throw.
Spearman has overthrown a number of receivers going this way with the wind. We'll see if he can adjust to that. Second down and 10. Spearman himself keeps trying to break tacklers, dragging them forward for possibly a first down around the 41-yard line. Good run by the quarterback, Spearman.
Nice move by the junior quarterback right here on the option. Made the fake like he was going to pitch it, turned it up. Here he comes down the line. There's a good move. Got Phillips upfield. Pretty good run by the junior quarterback.
He faked Philip Webster on the end. Webster's had quite a game, forcing 2 fumbles, including that critical one after a Northeast fumble on the kickoff. Gave Boca Ciega the ball and an 8-point deficit, and Webster stripped the ball and recovered. We'll see if they get the first down here. If not, it'll be 3rd and short. They will stretch out the chains, and it is a first down for the Pirates. 5.5 minutes remaining.
Unfortunately, that clock is their enemy right now, and they're going to have to get the football up in the air or run the speed option on the outside.
Clock moving once again, as you see. Remaining in the game, Boca Ciega trailing 35-22, trying to stage an incredible second half comeback. Spearman pitches back to Newton. Antonio's tripped up on a nice play. Great play by Omar McCann coming up to trip up Antonio Newton.
You're right. If Omar hadn't come up there, Newton would have turned the corner. Watch the penetration in here. Good tackle.
Newton fell forward, still lost about a yard, second down and 11. McCann, just a sophomore, in for the last play, back on the sideline for this play. One win wing and the I formation. Spearman back, pressure. They set up the screen to Tony Brown, looking for blocking. He heads across midfield into Northeast territory, first down, all the way to about the 48-yard line.
Pretty good call right there. You've got the Vikings line coming at you. Dump it up over the top. Good setup by Spearman. It looks like he's in trouble. He dumps it off. And Brown does a good job here of finding a hole.
1st and 10 Pirates, 4.5 minutes remaining. They need 2 scores. Spearman, hands off, first man through, dragging tacklers forward is Tony Brown near another first down. Boca Ciega's been a different offense here in the second half.
Now Bogey needs to get off the ground quickly, get into the huddle, make the call. They can't lose a lot of time in the huddle.
Very good point, Coach. We have 4 minutes, 4:05 to be exact, remaining in the game. 2nd and a long one. Willie Jordan and Tony Brown in front of Antonio Newton. Back to Pat Spearman, fires, and it is incomplete. Pass was intended there on the right-hand side for number 25, Preston Ford. It falls incomplete, 3rd and a very short.
And they were going to throw a little curl and lateral right here. You can see Newton on the outside, ready to take the pitch, but you've got to catch the ball first.
Jeffrey Stork blocked or knocked that ball down, almost came up with the interception. Fine play by the senior. Stork, as you said, does about everything. He's mad at himself for not picking that ball up. 3rd and 1.
Oh, no.
Newton used to wear 20, now wears 5. Instead, it goes up the middle to Tony Brown. First down plus some, all the way to the 32. Pirates with another first down, stops the clock, 3:45 remaining.
Good surge up inside, but again, you're eating the clock up when you run up inside. You're hoping you just break it with some quick backs.
Ball at the Northeast 33. Bogey stays with their bread and butter, the power I. One receiver split out to the right side. This is Brown once again. He loses the football. Ball is loose. No, he was on the ground, says the official.
And obviously that ground cannot cause a fumble.
Tony Brown picking up about 5 more yards. Clock is ticking, 3:15 and rolling. Boca Ciega needs to hurry up on offense.
Clock management is extremely important for Coach Gene Gordon right here.
2nd, let's call it 6. Ball inside the Northeast 30 at the 29. You have to expect Newton's going to get the ball here. Instead, they're going to throw. Spearman, pressured, tries to throw, incomplete, just getting rid of the ball over the middle. Nobody with a white shirt near that pass. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
And there's the experience that he gained last year starting as a sophomore. He knew that he couldn't give up the yardage. He had to get rid of the football.
Spearman has taken some big hits tonight. Northeast pressuring him very well with their defensive line. 2 down territory with 2:52 remaining. It's now 3rd and 6.
They've had a lot of success with the option on 3rd down to the outside.
Up the middle, gaining about half of the 6 yards needed for the first down is Tony Brown. So it goes from 3rd and 6 to 4th and 3, and this would be the ball game for Boca Ciega. 2:37 and counting.
Now, Tony Brown is not that big at 5'10", 180 pounds, but he hits up there hard.
Boca Ciega needs to get the ball to the Northeast 23-yard line to keep this game alive. 2:19 and counting. Could be the final hope for the Pirates. On the pitch, you're hoping Newton can find some room. Newton to the 20, he has a first down. Again, time is precious. 2:07, clock stops to move the chains.
And again, they need to get in the huddle. They've had a lot of success with that option on the outside. Spearman pitches it right away. Jordan makes the block on the outside. Good hit, good run inside, but the clock is running.
Gene Gordon is trying to keep Northeast honest with a lot of runs up the middle. Just a matter of time before Newton finds room on the outside. 1st and 10 from the 20, a minute 50. Back to Pat Spearman, fires, the ball is no good, incomplete, almost intercepted by Zantrell Walton on the deflection.
Dangerous pass with the slant, the quick post on the inside, but you have to take that chance with 1:45 to go. Almost intercepted by Walton.
Big hit made also by Northeast MacArthur Harris to jar that ball loose. Clock is stopped with 1:45 remaining. If Bogey scores, they need an onside kick and another score to try and win the game. First things first, they're 20 yards away from the end zone. Second down and 10. Handoff. This is Newton. Antonio trying to find room, and he is going nowhere. Great defensive stop by the Northeast Vikings, led by the man on the bottom of the pile, number 33, MacArthur Harris.
Started out, looked like he had a big hole right there, but then tried to bump it to the outside and outrun everybody. Here's the hole. Should have cut back to the inside, but he tries to outrun people. Grab that jersey.
Harris hanging on for dear life. Newton's already run out of one jersey. He's got the new number 5 on. Third down and 7.
We used to have those breakaway jerseys, those tearaways. They don't allow them anymore.
Spearman back to throw. Has some time. Now he's being flushed out of the pocket. Runs. Has the first down inside the 10. Still on his feet all the way to the 2-yard line.
Outstanding effort by Nick Spearman to get close to that goal line.
Spearman didn't run the ball hardly at all in the first half, but he has done a great job carrying it here in the second half.
Not great speed, but he shows a lot of athletic ability. Brings it down, little bobbing and weaving right here. That's a good athlete.
57 seconds left. We have an injury on the field, and now getting up is MacArthur Harris and limping off the field. A break for Bogey as they get some time to call this play. 57 seconds left. Northeast with a 35-22 lead. The play will start after Harris gets off the field. That is the delay. First and goal. Bogey needs a score, an onside kick, and another score.
Give Bogey credit after being down 22-0 at halftime. They did not give up. They're fighting back.
Newton, the tailback in the power I. Instead, it's Tony Brown who walks into the end zone. Touchdown, and it's now a 7-point game, 35-28. 49 seconds remaining.
What a nice drive to bring it down the field. Easy touchdown by Brown coming up inside. Little power, dive up inside, almost untouched. Good job by the offensive line to give him that hole. Matt King on that side.
We are back to a one-touchdown game, as close as we've been since early in the second quarter. 35-28. Boca Ciega looking to add the extra point with number 99, Zach Stoudemire, an official timeout. 49 seconds remaining. Boca Ciega will set up for an onside kick following this extra point attempt. Bogey has outscored Northeast here in the second half by a score of 28 and possibly 29 with the extra point to 13. They're going to fake and go for 2. Spearman tries to throw in the end zone. The ball is up for grabs, and it is picked off by Northeast. And that extra point, the 2-point try, is no good, so it's still a 7-point game.
And you know what is coming up.
Not quite sure why they tried to go for 2 there, but heads up call by Gene Gordon trying to get it to a 5-point game. An extra point would have made it a 6-point game, but instead they go for 2 off the fake, and it doesn't work. Adrian Ross came down with the pick. He's had a big game both sides of the ball as well for Jerry Austin.
Now here you wonder how much does Bogey practice the onside kick during the week? That's really, really important. If the kickers had time to practice this, they'll do a pretty good job of it.
And Jerry Austin will bring all his players in with the good hands and line them up at the 50-yard line. The kickoff is at the 40. The ball will have to go at least 10 yards. Boca Ciega has 49 seconds left. They need a turnover on the onside kick. Stoudemire looks like he's going to head towards the right side, towards his own bench, but he's got most of his players on the left side. So we'll see if somebody else kicks the ball besides Stoudemire. Only 3 men on the right side. That's where Stoudemire's heading. He's now going to turn and kick it to the left side. The kick's in the middle of the field and is covered by Bryce Yeagle. Number 22 brings it in And Northeast should be able to close this game out with 49 seconds left, but what a second half by the Pirates.
Right, Todd, and I have to tell you, I've never seen a right-footed kicker line up and kick it to the left side as he approached. I've never seen that done, and he just got a little bit too deep. But you're right, what a comeback by Bogey.
Northeast looks like it will stay undefeated at 5-0, but they had everything they could handle from Gene Gordon's Pirates, especially in the second half. 49 ticks remaining. Northeast will put one man very deep and just sit on the ball. The junior, Doug Wechter, perhaps his finest game of the year. 2 touchdown passes. He's going to go to a knee. Boca Ciega calls timeout. We believe that may be their second timeout, but we don't have an official count. If it's only their first, they might get a chance to get the ball back. It's second down now and 13 after Wechter took a knee, 44 seconds remaining.
You can see Jerry Austin out there on the field. Now what he's talking to his quarterback about is hold the football.
They just said unofficially 2 timeouts left. So if that's the case, Boca Ciega should be able to force Northeast to punt once more. And Jerry Austin's thinking a first down wins it, and I've had more than I could handle here in the second half after a 22-point halftime lead.
I think Jerry Austin's had more than he can handle too. He's a little bit upset on that sideline. He thought he had a breather there after halftime.
Well, Northeast is not going to take any chances with the amount of turnovers they've had this year. They're just going to take a knee, and we will find out shortly if Bogey has 2 or just 1 timeout left. Wechter's trying to kill some clock. He does so before taking a knee, and Bogey calls another timeout.
Okay, good idea. If Bogey's not going to come across the line of scrimmage, stand there until they do. Put the knee down.
36 seconds remaining.
Pretty impressed by the poise of Doug Wechter. He's thrown the ball well tonight. He's handled the offense well. They've made a lot of mistakes, but Wechter's done a real fine job.
A lot of stars on the northeast side. Doug Wechter is one of them. You have to say that number 35 with a couple of strips of the football, Philip Webster, came up big. Zantrell Walton had an interception, and he also scored a couple of touchdowns. So a lot of heroes tonight for Jerry Austin. This guy, how can we forget him? Brian Houston. He did about everything, blocking a punt, running in from 50 yards, and everywhere defensively as a nose guard. Well, it's 3rd down and long, and we'll find out if Bogey has any timeouts left. If they don't, the game's over. If they do, they will force Northeast to punt. 36 seconds remaining. Doug Wechter has been taking a knee, and we expect him to do the same. This time he tries to kill the clock and almost waits too long.
Got hit pretty good.
Boca Ciega does not have any timeouts left. And that will do it. 23 seconds left. The clock's going to run out on Gene Gordon and Boca Ciega. So it was a battle. It didn't look like it would be in the first half, but it turned into one in the second half as Gene Gordon's team came back, outscoring Northeast 28-13 in the second half. However, it was the Vikings' strong first half that keeps them at a perfect 5-0. 0 on the board. Northeast has won 18 straight regular season games. Jerry Austin's team moves to 5-0 on the season, 3-0 in the district. And Coach Jim Miwa, we had a ball game after it looked like it could be a blowout.
And I'm sure Jerry Austin's a little disappointed that he just couldn't finish off Bogey, but credit goes to Gene Gordon to bring his people back and keep them in the ball game. I'm impressed by Boca Ciega.
Boca Ciega fought valiantly, but they come up 1 touchdown short. Next week, Bogey will host Dunedin. Jerry Austin and the Northeast Vikings start the first of 4 straight road games as they head to Clearwater. The final tonight in our Time Warner Game of the Week, Northeast 35, Boca Ciega 28. We'll be back with our post-game show right after this. Back at Northeast High School on homecoming night, the Vikings, after a 22-0 halftime lead, hold on to defeat the Pirates 35-28. Joining me is Coach Jerry Austin. And Coach, looked like it was maybe going to be a little bit easier than it turned out to be, but you have to give Boca Ciega a lot of credit.
Well, Boca Ciega's got a great deal of speed, and of course they broke that one in the second half here and got it a little tight, and then for some reason we started fumbling the ball around, but our offensive line did a great job blocking, and it really wasn't their fault. And Doug threw the ball well, and we played good on defense, but we gave them the opportunities. They looked a gift horse in the mouth and really didn't take advantage of it there a couple of times. But it's high school football. We'll do stupid things. So.
Is that first half your best half of football you played this year?
No, actually, we played a real good half of football in the Classic over at Haines City. Haines City is an awful good team. And we played real good there and seemed to play real good, a couple of times. But just like I say, in the first half, we go down here to the first drive, we fumble on the 13. I mean, we're knocking on the door and we fumble. I don't know. And it was one of them was we had a non-collision fumble down here. So I don't even know. We'll keep working at it. And I guess the bench is probably the best thing for the best drill I got for fumbling, but we'll just keep working. Thank you.
Coach, thank you very much. We're going to bring in one of his secret weapons right now, Brian Houston. And Brian, I know we talk about you all the time on defense. Get a little closer here so we can see you. You did the job on the offense. You don't carry the ball much, but when you got it that one time today from 50 yards out, you took it in. Talk about that run.
I got to give thanks to my defensive and offensive line. They motivate us, and as a team, we come together. Doug, quarterback, he's young, but he's learning. We have a great offensive line. We have a great quarterback. We put it together, we can go all the way.
You also did such a great job, as usual, as the nose guard, but you got the job done on special teams as well. I think you did a little bit of everything tonight. How about the block? Did you feel like you could get in there?
I felt like I could.
Were you clean all the way in?
Maybe one hand or two. That's it.
On the block punt, that helped turn the game around. You guys obviously needed a big play at that point. Things weren't exactly going your way at the second half.
We had to get intense. We had to play our game, and we weren't playing our game when they started coming back on us. So we just had to get back as a team and come together, play.
Let me ask you this. You're 5-0, you're ranked number 1 in the St. Pete Times, but I don't think this team has played up to its capabilities yet. Do you agree?
I agree. I truly agree. We have a lot more in store.
Okay.
And hopefully in time, practice, we can get that going.
Thank you very much, Brian. We'll bring in one more of your teammates, and we got Doug Wechter coming in here. And probably your best game of the year, I would guess. You have to think you hadn't thrown a touchdown before tonight, 2 touchdown passes tonight. You had some time back there and some open receivers.
Yeah, my offensive line did excellent tonight. I was so proud of them. And actually, I got to give some credit to God, because without them, I couldn't have been anything. And my receivers had great hands tonight.
Were they keen on the run? Were they trying to force you to beat them through the air?
They knew Bryce was a great runner, and we had great running backs, So, and I haven't thrown too well in the past, so they didn't think I could do it, but I guess came up on top. We all came up on top.
Couldn't have been too easy a night to throw. I mean, the wind was pretty strong.
That's what I was thinking about before the game. I was kind of worried, but it came through.
Same question that I asked Brian there at the end. You guys are 5-0, but this team hasn't clicked yet on all cylinders.
No, well, it's either our offense going good or our defense going good, but one time we're going to get them both going, and we're going to do well, yeah.
Look out there.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations. Quite a game.
Thank you.
Those are some of the stars tonight. You can pick about half a dozen for Northeast. They played quite a game. Boca Ciega came back in the second half to only lose by 7, but it was Northeast moving to 5-0. The coach, Jim Miwa, and I will wrap things up from Northeast High when we come back right after this. Back at Northeast High School, glad you could join us as we wrap up this Time Warner Game of the Week. Todd Callis along with the coach, Jim Miwa. And coach, Northeast is 5-0, but they have to play a little better if they want to stay undefeated the rest of the way.
They had the ball game at 22 at halftime, and they just let it get away. A lot of fumbles, a lot of mistakes, but they're a good football team.
Let's take a look at the second half highlights. Boca Ciega came out storming after a 59-yard touchdown run by Antonio Newton made it a 22-7 ball game. Here, the quarterback Nick Spearman takes it in from 3 yards out. That made it 29-14. But then Northeast came right back. Here's Antrell Walton.
Good effort to get in that end zone right here. Good cut. Rector even throws a good block in there. Pretty easy score.
35-14 at this point as we head into the fourth quarter. But Boca Ciega didn't give up. Here, Newton goes in for his second score of the night. That from 1 yard out. Tony Brown added a 3-yard touchdown with 49 seconds left. And the last chance for Bogey came here on the onside kick.
Onside kick that just went a little bit too far, didn't get up in the air. Easy recovery for Northeast.
Bryce Yeagle comes down with it for the victory, and Boca Ciega outplayed Northeast in the second half, outscoring them 28-13. And look at the total yards. They were down by over 100 yards at the half, and they end up with more yards in the game.
I'm sure Gene Gordon is extremely disappointed at the loss, but he can't be disappointed in his kids because his kids fought the whole time.
Boca Ciega gave Northeast all it could handle. The Vikings remain undefeated. They are 5-0, and they have won 18 straight regular season games. For the coach, Jim Miwa, I'm Todd Callis. Glad you could join us on our Time Warner Game of the Week. Remember, double your pleasure next week with 2 games, Thursday night and Friday night. Until then, have a great week